Slant to the tight end. Handling to the end zone. Touchdown. Solomon keeps it. Solomon, touchdown.
And that ball is caught. Touchdown, Arizona. Going for the end zone. Throwing down there. It's broken up. Incomplete. Game over.
Nate Phillips caught the game winner. That was a year ago. And tonight, FS1 College Football is presented by Verizon. Gorgeous day here in the Mountain Time Zone. And tonight, a beauty. 58 degrees. Wind really not a factor. And Spencer, let's get your keys to tonight's game.
Well, for Arizona, they've got to get off the field on third downs. I'm talking defensively now. Arizona's too small up front to trade blows with Utah's massive offensive line. They're down one back, so Martin Shine will step up, and he will do a tremendous job in there. So this is the third consecutive weeks they have faced a very physical team. And then for Utah, they've got to find a way to crack the code, right? Shake off the disappointing loss to Cal. Finally find a way to break the nut that is this Arizona Wildcat team.
Here's the opening kick, angling towards the end zone. They're going to rule it a touchback. As Masek actually stepped out of bounds, but he was a yard into the end zone. So that was close for Arizona out of the gates. And let's get a chance at what to watch for after those four keys. Let's find out what you've got, Spencer.
Well, Darren Dawkins is going to start on the quarterback. We don't know how long those ribs will hold up, but if it's him or Khalil Tate, either one, the true freshman, you got to do a tremendous job of standing in that pocket and standing firm when they've got the ball. I think Hunter Dimmick will be the disruptor. Will try to prevent those guys from being effective at their positions.
There's Dimmick, youngster that leads this team at that position. A new alignment, as was mentioned in our opening. Tyrell Johnson, a converted wide receiver at the running back position. Beautiful run pass option to Sean Brown. And the youngster from Shreveport, Louisiana, Calgary Baptist, takes it home. 75 yards and a touchdown. That is textbook Rich Rod football.
It really is. The 175-pound sophomore, as you said, from Shreveport, on the run pass option, gets totally behind this defense and the back end. You don't have to worry about 1, 2, 3 and outs. If you can score, it's going to be about points per possession. And Shun sending an early signal early that they're going to score early and often.
Josh Pollock in for the extra point. Now that didn't take long, did it? That is the longest Arizona pass completed this year. The previous was 70 yards. This one, though, goes for a touchdown.
Well, Timmy, you're going to see the coverage. The safety is down here. You get behind that coverage, everybody's fairly close to the line of scrimmage, because let's remember, this is a run-based spread attack. And then when you're conscious about the run, the quarterback is the one that's typically going to hurt you. You got to be cognizant that they can go over the top any point in time. And Shun just showed you, wasted no time, did Rich Rod, in opening it up and going over the top. Outstanding job. Rod Smith, the co-offensive coordinator, working this back end early in this contest, sending a signal that our quarterback may be banged up, Timmy, but we can still go vertical on you.
Incredible start. Brown is from my hometown. We actually talked before the game, running out of that slot position, and he was the leading receiver with 17 catches, 263 coming in. Kyle Whittingham, by the way, looking for his 100th career win as head coach. But to do it, he's going to have to beat a team that he hasn't in the last 4 years.
He's one of the smartest coaches in all of college football. If there's anybody out there can do it, he can. He's basically Urban Meyer with some balance to his life.
Well, the touchback will bring it out to the 25-yard line for the Utes as they get started, and what to watch for there.
Raylan Singleton looks motivated to me. Just kind of watch the way he moved around. He has a quarterback in Troy Williams who has 6 explosive plays of 40 yards or greater. That's second best in the league. I think he'll have at least 2 explosive plays a day. The safety, Demetrius Flanagan Files, will be trying to stop him. That'll be a tall order because he's got a tremendous catch radius, Tim, and he's a tremendous athlete as well.
There's a Flanagan Foles. Armand Shine will be toting it a lot, and they're going to need him to stay healthy through the course of this game. Really depleted at that spot. Troy Williams, the transfer from Washington with the out pattern incomplete, intended for Singleton. And was defended there by Jace Whitaker, 17. There you see the story on Troy Williams, young man that was highly touted, recruited to Washington. Didn't work out there for him, went to Santa Monica Junior College, made his way here and was voted captain, and he only got here in January. He says a lot about his leadership skills.
It really does. And we talked to him, and he said that more is caught than taught. In other words, he's not a vocal guy necessarily, but he's not a guy that's going to hold back to help an opponent, and even a guy on the defensive side of the ball. He's an all-around guy.
Shine cuts it back in, gets beyond the 25 to the 26-yard line. Cody Ippolito, 57, the senior from Paradise Valley, Arizona. Had a team-high 6 tackles, all solo in that last matchup they had. This is a team, both Arizona and Utah, coming off tough losses. Arizona got smacked around by UCLA on the road a week ago after taking Washington to overtime in Tucson, and Utah let that one get away with 6 tries inside the red zone against Cal last week for their first loss of the year. On 3rd and 9, Williams on the crossing pattern, complete to Singleton. It's a first down. 16 yards on the game.
Nice little route underneath. Slant route, had plenty of room, plenty of time, but did a nice job with Williams of stepping up in the pocket to avoid the pressure to throw a strike.
Trips to the top of your screen. Williams again. Back shoulder throw intended for Tyrone Smith, incomplete. Smith being called upon to play a great deal because of the injury bug that's hit Utah and its pass receiving core. Butler Bird's been hurt. Obviously, Tim Patrick's not been completely healthy either, so expect a lot of him. And Damari Simpkins, the outstanding freshman from Florida, that's on this team that'll be utilized quite a bit tonight.
And Tellus Jones, number 1, you were looking there. He's athletic too. He plays the spur position. He'll be dropping back in coverage as well. 6 foot, 206 pounds. He's active, but he's very physical around the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 10 for Williams. That one's tipped and then caught. It's Tyrone Smith that actually was the intended receiver, and Moe Ai, the tight end, 18, got it off the tip drill, the tight end, the senior from Provo.
Moe Ai, Johnny on the spot. You can see him right here, just waiting, alert, engaged in the game. Moe Ai does a great job of identifying that ball and scooping it up. You're talking about being engaged in the game and alert off the head. Moe Ai, yeah, I'll take that. Nice job.
Actually, Simpkins that could not handle it, 17, and then the able, trusted hands of the senior Moe Ai made the grab. Still 3rd down and 6. Shine, the lone setback.
Just rushing 3.
Plenty of time for Williams. Mark is down. Williams down. Tellus Jones got him there. We'll have to check the flag. Thrown in an area where holding would be the preliminary indication.
Holding. 52 offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
That's a huge win for this Arizona defense, mainly because they were able to affect that pressure with 3. And Tellus Jones played that spur position exactly like it was designed. If you're going to just bring 3, I need you to step up, number 1, and make a play. And he did it big time.
Mitch Wienowski will be called upon. Wienowski is another one of those outstanding Aussies, replacing the legendary Tom Hackett, 2-time Ray Guy Award winner. Another magnificent boot and a fair catch called for by Phillips at the 12-yard line of Arizona. 43-yard boot, and the Wildcats have it up by 7 on the RPO. Shunned the defense of Utah. Seven 0 our score. Arizona with one play, a 75-yard strike in their opening series, an opening play for Rich Rodriguez. Go the distance, and look at that. He's not lost in this series. A remarkable career he's had, starting at the lowest possible level and then becoming an assistant coach for the Bowden family, moving on to West Virginia, then Michigan, and now Arizona. Brandon Dawkins, the young man, can really run it. 2nd overall rushing quarterback in the country behind only Lamar Jackson. So you talk about throwing up some big numbers. He can do it with his legs as well as his arm.
Yeah, he leads his team in rushing, and that's really the question. How long will he stay healthy? Those ribs are probably pretty tender still from the UCLA game. Didn't even make the second half. We'll see how he can stay vertical.
Gain 10, got the first down. And here's Tyrell Johnson off the right side. Again, Nick Wilson did warm up, but is not out there as of yet. Filippo Mokafisi, number 45, the junior from Woods Cross, Utah, making the stop right there. He and Hunter Dimick both very active defensively for Morgan Scalley, the defensive coordinator in his first year and longtime Ute. Johnson remains the setback on 2nd and 9. Dawkins again forges ahead to the 30. So a 3rd and 4 coming up.
Lowell Lotulelei, we talked about in the open, playing in a 3-man front, and we're going to keep our eye on that because, again, what they're saying is we think that you are not going to be able to run. We're giving him a 2-gap responsibility, along with Dimick on the outside, who's trying to do a great job of setting that corner. But that nose tackle position, keep an eye on number 93. He's going to have to play firm and anchor down. Otherwise, it's going to be a long day.
Dawkins with pressure, unloads it. No one could catch up to that one, and a marker comes down. I don't believe a receiver was in the general area. They may get him for grounding here because he was not outside the tackle box.
He was certainly square within the lines.
Yes, he was. Our referee tonight is Michael Batlin.
The flag on the field was for an ineligible receiver downfield. However, by rule, there is no foul in the play since the quarterback legally grounded the ball.
Well, I did not see a receiver anywhere near that.
I didn't see one anywhere. Boy,
interesting to me. By the way, we had this discussion with Jerry Myeroff, our replay official, about the run-pass option situation leading to so many calls of illegal men downfield. It's not uncommon for that flag to be thrown. In this case, they decided to pick it up. Maybe they saw a receiver over there that we didn't. On 4th down, Josh Pollock to punt it away. Booby Hobbs is back deep. And this one will roll dead inside the 30 at the 28. A 42-yard boot. Troy Williams, the silent assassin, Kyle Whittingham calls him. He's done in quite a few in his short stay in Utah. We'll see him when we come back. Seven to nothing our score. Every weekday morning, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp go head-to-head on the day's hottest sports topics. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, weekdays at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, only on FS1. Utah trailing by 7, and Troy Williams goes back to work. By the way, a young man that was with Washington. Didn't work out for him. It's working out for Washington tonight, is it not? Against the Ducks. 56-21. Wow. And that was one of those series that had been going one team's way for Oregon, and that will come to an end tonight.
Well, they're still struggling with the post-Marcus Mariota era.
Oh, yeah. I think Mariota masked a lot of the issues that perhaps Helfrich's team had. That pass is complete to Kyle Fultz. No, incomplete. It did hit the deck. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Troy's got some weapons to work with. They're trying to work on the perimeter, but Tim Patrick, who had some outstanding performances earlier, had 4 catches for 44 yards last week against Cal, was limited somewhat because of injuries. But again, he's one of 3 receivers that Williams has a chance to go to that's a vertical threat, along with Raylan Singleton as well.
Simpkins is down in the slot to the bottom of your screen. There they go with Shine. You expect him to go about 24, 25 times tonight. He's going to have to tote it. Justin Belknap, 86, redshirt freshman from Henderson, Nevada, with the stop.
And Zach Moss obviously is down, and Troy McCormick. They've had so many problems in the back end, and then, of course, in the running back. And then we talked about in the open of the show what was going on with Dillman up front at center. They've been struggling, as has Arizona, but it's really about a war of attrition right now and who wants it the best. And this game is probably going to go pretty fast because of that.
Moiai, the tight end, in motion. He releases that throw. He was actually, Simpkins was on the deck got up, made the grab, and went back down again. He had slipped, got himself back up. The equilibrium worked out, and he's got a first down.
Well, you talk about staying alert and, again, engaged. You can look at Williams back. He's got a 3-man rushes, one coming out. Then underneath, he goes down to his ground. Simpson comes right back up, showing you the athleticism and the awareness to stay engaged to bring that pass back in. That's a tremendous job.
Hollandale High, freshman, Carroll City, Florida, one of 3 brought in by running backs coach, the legendary Dennis Erickson, on this staff of Kyle Whittingham's. On 1st and 10, quick slant is caught. That's Singleton. It's a first down to the 42 of Arizona. 17 yards.
Let's see if they try to take advantage of the pace. And Tim, they're going to huddle up here. Troy, I think, has got a beat on what they want to do, but they're going to protect him, work the ball down the field, and try to turn this into a game of physical style play, but methodically move the ball down the field.
Well, they did that a week ago.
Yep.
Control the football throughout.
For 42 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, it was incredible. Time of possession meant nothing in that game, as it turned out. And we've got what seems to be a false start here.
False start. 11, offense. 5-yard penalty. Saints first down.
Singleton last week had 7 catches for 98 yards. He missed the entire 2014 season and a third of last year due to a shoulder injury, but has really been looking good since the spring, all the way through fall camp.
That's a great observation. He just had 6 balls in 8 games last season, so his numbers, as we got motion on the right side of that Utah offensive line.
Yeah, and again, remember, as good as this line is, and it's seemingly a strength, it certainly was in the win against USC here.
False start. 72 offense. 5-yard penalty. Saints first down.
And that's Garrett Bowles, who's one of their real leaders up there playing that tackle position. So many guys are playing out of position, Spence, with Nowakowski, the guard, the walk-on originally, moving into center because Dielman and Falamaka are both hurt. They hope to get Lo Falamaka back next week. 1st and 20. Williams across to Moriarty. He's just a yard shy of the first down. The big tight end rumbles. That's an 18-yard pickup.
Timmy Moiai is surrounded by 3 different Wildcats back here in the back. You can see plenty of protection against that 3-man front. 3 defenders in zone protection. He just threads that needle as Williams. A tremendous job of dissecting the defense, making a smart, accurate decision for a big game.
Dane Cruikshank made the stop. 2nd and 2. Williams is now 5 of 8 for 63 yards. Out of the gun. The play fake to Shine. Williams. And one's caught. It's Hanley, the other tight end.
Talk about pressure. Cody Ippolito is over the top of that, dropping in his linebacker position. That nice touch goes right over the top of Ippolito's head into the waiting hands. And nice outreach and touch, and all of that went in. Williams put just enough touch on it. Outstanding job.
Harrison Hanley goes 23 yards after Moiai went 18. The tight end will be utilized. Hanley originally thought more of as the better blocker, but as offensive coordinator Jim Harding and Aaron Roderick were telling us, he's really improved in that area. Both are real mirror images of one another. Play clock was winding down and a timeout taken by Utah.
Utah. That's their first.
7 minutes remain. Arizona got the quick start. We'll see what Harding and company come up with next. Scenic Salt Lake City, home to FS1 tonight, our late night delight here in the Mountain Time Zone, with Arizona leading at 7-0, but a vintage Utah drive. 6 plays, plus a couple of penalties to help along the way. 1st and 10 with the ball just outside the 10-yard line, and there goes Williams. What work!
And that was a nice job of Williams salvaging that because he couldn't get a clean handle on the ball. You can see him bobble it, but he scoops it back up. Again, the snap looks like it's a little low, but he just goes a nice job of just gathering it in and just being consistent with it, staying secure in the ball and staying upfield, not trying to make a bad situation worse.
Now, both of these centers, and this is obviously a converted guard, as Bruce Feldman mentioned at the top, Nick Nowakowski, are under the gun because both are facing nose tackles that know a little bit about the Pac-12. That is Shine. And Huntley just came into the game at quarterback in that particular sequence, and Shine is stopped shy of the end zone.
Cody Ippolito was in the back there. Fuemano, another one jumping in the middle of trying to stop that up, but it was really 57 Cody Ippolito.
It is a first down. And Tyler Huntley, the freshman from Florida, outstanding dual threat. There's another low snap. He's in trouble and sacked. And it's DeAndre Miller, 32. Boy, are they happy to have him back.
Yeah, clearly it's the uncertainty and the new positions there at center that's causing them problems. You can see, again, the second one in as many plays. That's low. Williams did all he could to bring that one in. They got to settle on what they're going to do if they stay in this kind of wildcat kind of formation.
Well, I was curious as to why they brought Huntley in after Williams had gotten them down that far. I realize they want to get Tyler Huntley some play, and he is as much an outstanding runner as certainly Troy Williams would be. But the combination of that and a new center playing for the first time, tough. Williams over the middle, incomplete, overthrown, intended for Handley, and he is feeling poorly in the back of the end zone. He got nailed as he went up for that one.
Sammy Morrison nailed him pretty good when he went up for that ball, and he's down still, Tim.
See the number 87 on the right bicep there. Michael Latonga was the tight end that got hurt at the beginning of the year, and he's paying homage to him by wearing the number 87 on his right arm.
That ball just a little bit high and away.
Yeah. Isaiah Hayes really got him in the midsection, 21. Well, the free safety had an open look at him. Well, his ribs will be feeling it for a while. Didn't you think that was a little curious to make the change at quarterback? Moments ago, Williams came back in. They barely got the play off with the play clock.
Well, I think one of the things you're looking at, this is an undersized defensive front that you're looking at right there. You want to make sure that you make solid decisions. The only thing I can suggest is that maybe they feared that athleticism and mobility against their larger, more physical, but less mobile front.
Well, we've got a timeout taken by Arizona. You think of this Utah program and the challenges in playing this team that's had their number the last 4 years. In fact, Kyle made no bones about the fact that this is a team that has given him trouble. Rich Rod's club has run the football very effectively against his. What he wanted to do was control the ball. Well, up until the snap problem at the goal line in the red zone, he was doing just what he needed to do, keeping Arizona off the field.
It really was. And again, in that game, as we said, they dominated the clock 42 minutes. And you can look at it. Look at Arizona just running away with this series. Totally dominant. They've won every which way possible. They've had blowouts. They've won in double overtime scenarios. And after a while, Tim, if you got 4 of these back-to-back, you're in danger of an entire recruiting class never having been able to beat these guys, and you get a bit of a complex. As Brian Reed shared with us yesterday.
On third down, Williams for the corner. Underthrown, almost picked off. Singleton, the intended receiver, Jace Whitaker, almost got a pilfer there.
Whitaker was doing a nice job of squatting on that route and then turning around, not to give the impression that he was going to be in a position to interfere with the opportunity for the receiver. It's just great defensive play right there. Bracketed inside and out, high-low coverage. The ball was placed properly where it needed to, maybe just a little bit behind him, but Whitaker did a nice job of defending that one.
Andy Phillips will come in for the 28-yard field goal try. Got an incredible career. Just goes on and on in the kicking game. between these two. If he misses one, it's a story, and he had one of those late last week. Automatic Andy gives Utah their first points of the game, and boy, oh boy, Cody Ippolito is down on the field, 57, and that would really hurt Arizona. He is on the turf, and they'll need him healthy. Sona trying to bear down on the road again against Utah. Seven to 3 our score. Arizona with the lead. Utah with a vintage scoring drive. They average, get this, 12.1 plays on all of their scores, and it took a dozen this time too, but they backed up with a couple of poor snaps. Ippolito, by the way, was hurt on that extra point try and is going back into the locker room to check things out. Was holding his midsection. They'll need to get him back into the game. Wesley Neshek back deep. Nate Phillips is also back there. Andy Phillips will kick it away. They've used 3 different men at the kickoff position this year. And Neshek will hit the knee. It's a touchback. Let's get now to Mike Hill for a Carl's Jr. and Hardy's game break in Los Angeles.
Hey, Timmy B, number 5, Washington, well on its way to ending a 12-game slide against his rival Oregon. Jake Browning, huge in this with Dante Pettis. Look at that grab. Browning making some noise in the Heisman watch. He has accounted for 8 touchdowns in this game. 6 passing. It's 63-21 in the 4th. Tim Spencer, back to you.
All right, Mike, thank you. Washington team is really legit. And a lot of people that were throwing dirt on them after becoming a posh pick back during the summer are rethinking that criticism.
Jake Browning, the quarterback, he's really the key for them. You look at all the great teams that are thriving, they got excellent quarterback play.
Tyrell Johnson in the backfield. Dawkins had some indecision that time, looking to the wide side of the field. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage, perhaps. So we'll call it 2nd and 10. Haven't called Samaje Grant's name yet. Dawkins in trouble. He does manage to get back to beyond the line of scrimmage. The ball came out, but I believe he had been whistled down by contact at the 26-yard line. He was. Hunter Dimick.
Yeah, Hunter Dimick was really working on him. You can see him on the outside right here. Watch his path as he comes off the ball. He's going to show you that ability to work upfield and just overpower the tackle trying to get to the quarterback. A tremendous job by Hunter Dimick on that play.
Zach Green is coming at running back. Number 34, the redshirt junior from Miami. And we've got a timeout, it appears, that's being taken. Or the last play may be under further review with regard to whether the ball came out or not. He was ruled down by contact. And Jerry Myeroff will have to take a look at it, our replay official. Michael Batlin, our referee, the white hat, takes a look at it. Indisputable video evidence is what we're looking for. 3 words you hear announcers say a lot these days. No way. He's down.
He's down. There's no
clearly down.
Another look at it from this angle, and maybe more difficult to see here, but his rear end is down.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. The runner was down. No fumble.
The good news is it didn't take long.
And they got it right.
You know, and by the way, when you're doing a game, this is our first one on the West Coast or in the Mountain Time Zone this late, you watch a lot of football as we did today, and you notice that most of these games aren't lasting in the neighborhood of 4 hours plus. Zach Green is the lone setback with Dawkins at quarterback on 3rd and 9. Mentioned we haven't called Samaje Grant's name yet. Number 10 is at the bottom of the screen. Griffey is in front of him. Dawkins. He is elusive. Very dangerous in these situations. He does manage a couple of yards, I think, to the 27 after all of that. And Hunter Dimick finally got him, and we've got an injured Ute back at the 8-yard line who was in hot pursuit. Talmo Mpinu is the young man that's injured.
Well, you can look at Grant here. He's got a little shake route, a skinny post route up the middle, and he broke it off. But again, the pressure was a little bit too much for him. Quarterback's eyes came off of downfield. He does exactly what he's coached to do, just go lateral and try to mimic what the quarterback is doing. But again, you can see Dawkins coming this way. Pressure from both sides.
Yeah, he gave him 5 waves, but he was under duress. That's Talmo Mpinu that's injured, and they're taking him over to the sidelines. Senior from nearby Provo, prepped at Timpview High School. Fourth and 7, they'll have to boot it away. Boobie Hobbs goes back deep. Josh Pollock will punt it away. He shanked that one. That sort of end-over-end approach that you oftentimes see backfired that time. Only 12 yards netted on that punt. Well, next Saturday, it's number 22, West Virginia, battling Texas Tech on FS1 at 11:30 Eastern. USC takes on the same Arizona Wildcats at 2:30 Eastern on Fox. Then at 3:30 Eastern, the action returns to FS1 for Kansas. Almost got a win in the Big 12 today. They'll be taking on number 13 Baylor. And over on the Big 10 Network, Northwestern against Michigan State. Well, they got thumped by BYU earlier today. Check that stat. It was 22 yards on the boot, not 12. Still very poor field position from Arizona's point of view.
False start. Offense number 52. 5-yard penalty. Means first down.
That's the third time we've seen a false start from this Utah offensive line. And again, off to the turnover on punt, they get quality field position and a negative play with a penalty.
Sam Tebey on that last play got called for, offsides, and that's something they can ill afford to do.
Tebey's been tagged twice now. 1st and 15. They were in a 1st and 20 in the last series, you may recall. There's an out pattern to Tyrone Smith. And he's tackled at the 49-yard line.
It was Josh Kern there on the nice job of an open field tackle. Into the boundary working.
Free safety Jarvis McCall was also over there to provide some coverage. 2nd down and 11 coming up. Armand Shine remains in the backfield. Raylan Singleton, who has been targeted more than anyone for Utah, is up at the top of your screen. They'll look his way again. Overthrown this time. Crowd wants a flag. They're not going to get one. Jace Whitaker over there to provide coverage.
Well, Troy Williams got plenty of pressure on that one. That was actually a run blitz. You had as many as 5 guys coming in his face. He had to get rid of that ball. Aaron passed, great defensive coverage on the back end. But what made that play work, it was the relentless pressure up front by this undersized mobile stop unit.
Got a brand new defensive coordinator here, Marcel Yates.
He's done a great job, Tim.
Came over from Boise State, where he had been very successful. That was home for him, too. Great opportunity, he told us, to coach at this level. 3rd and 11.
Here comes a run.
Pressure up the gut. Paul McGlure, the redshirt senior from Fort Lauderdale, comes in to make the play.
McGlure came right from his middle position, and you can see he was hell-bent for election as he came from death and made a tremendous play on Troy Williams. You can see it's a late blitz, but it's one definitely that's a beeline. He's what we call green dog, and if he doesn't have a responsibility of the back who stays in, he can go straight to the quarterback. And it was an alert, a dog alert from the snap of that ball. Outstanding by McGlure.
Wisnowski to punt it away. Nate Phillips is back deep. Beautiful end-over-end punt. Phillips lets it go, and this one will bound inside the 5. And yet again, this young man from Australia, number 1 in the FBS, averaging 50.6 per boot. hits one for 53, and it nestles down at the 5. Let's go down to Bruce with more on Marcel Yates' defense of Arizona.
Yeah, Tim, I talked to Marcel last night, and he was very frustrated from last week. They played UCLA. He said, I blitzed 46 times, and we still didn't get to Josh Rosen. We got to get more pressure. Now, he was pleased that he gets DeAndre Miller back. He thinks that's their most explosive edge rusher. He said he actually reminds him of Carmele Correa, who was a terrific player he had at Boise State, who was a second-round pick for in the NFL last year. So they hope they can get a lot more pressure, especially with the depleted Utah offensive line tonight.
From the 5-yard line, Dawkins remains in. Gets it out to Trevor Wood. Back up tight end. Youngster out of Scottsdale, Arizona, prepped at Chaparral High School.
Another one of those RPOs, again, back deep. It's a great design play because, again, you get the defensive ends and linebackers to some degree conscious of the quarterback, but he can pull up any moment and throw that ball as long as his offensive linemen are within that range that they need to be.
75 yards amassed on one play, the first of the night. Their last 8 plays for a total of 27. And Zach Green is hammered at the point of attack by Pasoni Tassini, senior, making the play here.
Tassini playing heavy in the middle of the front. Does an excellent job of really at the point of attack, winning that leverage battle.
3rd down 3. Student body is into it here at Rice Eccles. There's Wood again. Same play, only to the opposite side that worked on 1st down. Gets them a 1st down on 3rd. As Chase Hansen, number 22, a converted quarterback. They've got a couple of them in this back end for Morgan Scalley, the defensive coordinator here, who also was an outstanding safety when he played for the Utes. He was a second-team All-America when he played on that undefeated team. Played in the 2004 Fiesta Bowl. There he is.
With the beard right there.
Yeah, he's got a little growth since taking this gig. We've come to the end of the first quarter. Some excitement out of the gates from Arizona. Rich Rod had him running. Sean Brown got the touchdown. Came all the way from Louisiana, just like me for this game. FS1 College Football is presented by Verizon. We open the second quarter here at Rice-Eccles Stadium along with Bruce Feldman, Spencer Tillman, Tim Brando. Well, short of the 75-yard strike on the opening play, Utah's defensive adjustment has worked how against this Arizona team?
Well, first of all, they put pressure on. They've been strategic with the pressure, but what do you got to do outside of Shun? Getting that big play off the top, you got to get Nate Phillips involved. You got to get Samaje Grant involved. You've got 3 or 4 of the wide receivers that can go vertical against any back end. You've got to get those guys loose. That means you've got to protect the quarterback long enough to get them behind coverage, Tim. They make a big play.
All but 30 of their yards coming on that one play to open the game as Zach Green takes it ahead. Boy, he kept those legs turning and got 4 yards out of a very difficult set of circumstances.
Zach Green running with some leverage. Looks like a little, here's an old school reference, Robert Newhouse. Look at that little build.
Yeah.
Right? That little power build.
Lua Fatasanga made the tackle for Utah. 2nd and 4. Dawkins on a streak, looking long. It's Griffey. I believe he brought it in. Trey Griffey all the way down to the 36-yard line. That was a beautiful pass and catch.
Son of Ken Griffey, again, just 2 catches for 38 yards last week. But you can show the balance there and the ability to know where he is relative to the out-of-bounds line to bring that ball in. Griffey doing a tremendous job in controlling his body. It's like his pop's out there playing center field.
42 yards, the hookup. Dawkins. That pass overthrown and intercepted. Brian Allen, the veteran, comes down with it. Sean Brown got his hand on it, but it was overthrown. He really gave full extension to it. And Allen, one of the captains of this team, Lamar, Texas's own, makes the play.
He's so long, 6'3", about 205 pounds, but again, showing the ability to stay with that ball. And we talked to him yesterday, Timmy, and he was a little bit down. You could tell about his body language. He's given up some touchdowns of late, but today he is all over, Timmy. Redemption.
One of the great things about what we do, Spencer, is get a chance to meet the young men that play this game. And Brian Allen is a wonderful young guy, senior, fifth-year guy, came from difficult circumstances, one-parent home. He's got a baby now. Amaya is her name, and just married back in July. Paula Sellis is his wife's name. And he loves it here. Hasn't been back home in a couple of years. He's invested in Utah.
Well, marriage is a big play, and he's obviously extending that to the field here. And that maturity shows up in so many different ways. Watch him again show the patience here off the switch route. Those guys are stacked behind one another. That ball is errant over the top of the head, but he's able with that long reach of his. At 6'3", about 210 pounds. He's got long levers, Timmy. He's a tremendous athlete. He's playing focus right now.
Here we go again. This is the fourth false start that we've seen.
False start. Offense, number 54. Half the distance to the goal. Makes first down.
And these are veteran linemen. Asiata, the senior, is one of their better guys. And this has got to be frustrating for Kyle Whittingham to watch.
Timmy, they played about as clean as you can play last week, even though they were on the short end. Just 3 penalties for the entire game.
1st and 15. Out of the shotgun. It's Shang. Armand gets it back up past the original line of scrimmage up to the 10. Stopped by Fanene. Ialua Fanene, number 62. Right up the middle. This is a strong defensive team. Marcel Yates is telling us they're very close, getting closer every day. 2nd and 10 coming. Williams, quick out, caught by Smith. And you see how quickly those blue helmets got to the receiver, and they were not in a good humor. Crookshank was one of them, number 9. The redshirt junior.
Yeah, Crookshank was really playing this technique well. You can see number 9. He's going to come up. He reads it and sits and swats on that ball and puts his helmet right on the outside shoulder. He knows he has help coming from the inside. Crookshank does a nice job of understanding where his help is and doing a good job of making a solid football play.
So 3rd down and 3 coming up. Simpkins, the outstanding freshman burner, is down at the bottom of your screen. Smith up to the top, 21. Williams trying to go for the quick slant, incomplete. Fans want a flag, they're not going to get it. Moiai, the intended receiver. Barton's been very, very active. Michael getting the call as the starter at that will linebacker position tonight.
Barton is celebrating because, number 1, they were able to get pressure with just 3, and that was really a coverage incompletion there.
Well, even after the turnover, because of that big pass play to Griffey, in a game of field position, you figure there's a chance for Arizona. But look at this boot, will you? How about that? How about the transfer of field position there? Nate Phillips on his heels takes that after 57 yards. Boy, everyone would love to have a Wisnowski, huh? Wow. Arizona leads it 7-3. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman, Bruce Feldman here on FS1. Hope you've had an enjoyable Saturday afternoon and evening of college football, and we're happy to put a period on it tonight. You see Dawkins coming back into the game after the interception on his last throw. That rib problem that he has is more on the left side, so it's not on the throwing side necessarily, but it has impacted his passing efficiency at times. They go with a quick pitch to Tyrell Johnson, and they're down to converted wide receivers at running back because of attrition, and Hunter Demick makes the stop.
Tim, I think you also have to give Rod Smith, the co-coordinator, who's basically in charge of the quarterback play, some sense of credit for how he's called this game to protect his ribs and to put him in a position where he only is running the football when you've got 3rd and passing situations where the receivers can dictate the coverage on the back end. If I can get guys out of that zone, I don't mind running my quarterback as much.
Center problem that time on the snap. And just trying to make the most of it, Dawkins hustles towards the sidelines into the boundary at the 35, ushered out by Chase Hansen, number 22.
Tyler Cooper Wood was also over there. Again, it was a whole gaggle of Utes chasing him. Hanson was the first one to the party, and Dawkins is running for his life on that play. That's what you want to stay away from, Timmy, because it's those kinds of situations that got him dinged in the first place.
Third down and 3. Getting outside the pocket. He decides to turn it up, and that's where he can beat you. He gets the first down just shy of the 40, and Dimmick again makes the stop.
Yeah, number 49, Dimmick, does a tremendous job of flowing and staying with it. This is almost looks like an RPO, run-pass option. Dimmick is right there to play it as best you possibly could to minimize the gain. But again, every time that quarterback turns it down as the leading rusher, he's subjecting himself to the possibility of getting hurt again.
Nothing doing for Johnson as he takes it right up the gut. You know, in talking with Morgan Scalley, the defensive coordinator, he said, you know, I asked him the problems in defending this team. They've run it so well against you. He says, well, if you watch Arizona play, they generally don't get stopped. They stop themselves. And Rich Rod really knows what he's doing. He has great respect for Rich Rodriguez and his staff and the way they conduct this vintage offense of his. Green, the lone setback on 2nd and 9. Dawkins pulls it down again. Look at him go. Stopped about 3 yards shy of the first down. Sania Tioli made the stop.
Tatioli did a nice job of closing on that play.
Yep, Tatioli. Well, look at the numbers of rush game by quarterbacks. He's right up there. And today, amazing. The job done by Trevor Knight yet again in a victory against Tennessee in the SEC. 3rd and 2.
All go. They need to go fast.
They'll go with a 4-man front this time, Spencer. Lofting this one down the sideline and caught. That's Cedric Peterson, number 18. Redshirt freshman from Moreno Valley, California.
Yeah, Logan Bateman, number 15, was back there in coverage. He did a nice job of bounding and protecting that sideline. But Phillips went up and hauled that ball in, showing great body control to turn around, locate the ball, and haul it in. That's a fine athletic play. Streaky wide receiver. You saw that play kind of developing up here.
1st and 10. More trouble for Dawkins. He is something else, isn't he? Talk about gas. This linebacking core for Utah will be at the end of this game. Mo Kafisi makes the stop. Slow to arise after that one. Dawkins had them on the move.
Yeah, Mo Kafisi did a nice job of closing on that play. But again, every time Dawkins carries this football, he's playing within the parameters of what this offense is all about. It is a run-based attack. But again, he's playing with tender ribs.
2nd and 6. Zach Green carrying Utes with him. That's powerful running there, including Dimmick, and that is a load to get it that far down for a 1st and goal.
See, if I'm Calvin McGee, the co-offensive coordinator, that's the kind of play that I'm calling, because he's able to take that ball in there and take the punishment that Dawkins has been taking to this point. I know they haven't been running Dawkins in the middle, but you got a heavy squat body that can go get those tough yards.
Green again. Markers are down in the end zone. First flag that was thrown was in the back of the end zone. So hold everything. You think sometimes in these situations we could have a substitution issue, maybe too many men on the field, when the back judge throws the flag in that situation.
Yeah, he's got the clearest line of sight to the big picture, and as Kyle Whittingham looks on, they'll sort it out.
There are 2 flags on the play, both against the defense. Illegal substitution, defense, the player did not get off the field in time. Offside, defense, that play will be, penalty will be accepted at half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
Well, let's take a look and see if we can see the right defensive end who's over here. And if he sprints off the field, he's coming back on, and then the end is headed out. 2 men are coming in.
Yeah, too late.
Yep.
First and goal out of the gun. Whittingham's team up against it now. Zach Green, the lone setback. Dawkins in trouble. He's going to take a loss, a big loss here. Chase Hansen, that's the appropriate name. Doing a lot of chasing here early. Takes him out. A loss on the play back to the 6. You almost think, though, with this offense, that by getting a few extra yards to work with, it gives them an advantage. They don't have that power back, although we have seen Zach Green get some tough yards in this sequence. Second down and goal after a loss of at least 3 on that last play.
You got to be smart down here. Again, if you're Arizona, you got to understand this is the second-rated rush defense in the Pac-12.
Rich Rodriguez, not happy with the alignment, decides to take the timeout. On the doorstep of another score is Arizona.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, see how Jake Browning elevated his Heisman stock as Washington dropped a 70-burger on Oregon. Could Tennessee's magical run continue in a top 10 showdown with A&M? Plus, wait till you see what Michigan did to Rutgers. Tim Spencer, see you at the break.
All right, Rob, I know you've been busy today. It all began this magnificent Saturday on FS1 with a magnificent game, the Red River Showdown, won by Oklahoma. Second down. It's a fake reverse, and Dawkins gets it in for 6. Wow. Magnificent play design, courtesy Rich Rodriguez.
It was well designed, and again, at the risk of your quarterback, you can see everybody's eyes and focus attention is coming to play this way, but instead you got the quarterback going the opposite direction, doing exactly what this offense is designed to do, to put him in a position to score. Nice job on the design by Rod Smith in spreading things out enough. And Whittingham can only look on as Dawkins goes in for the score, and it looks like he's taking a deep breath there. I hope he's all right.
Pollock in for the extra point. That's why coaches in today's game use the depth, width of the field and beat you with formation. If you're lacking the power game, and Arizona is in terms of running backs, what do? You get Nate Phillips to run a fake reverse. Let your quarterback hunker down. Only Lamar Jackson is out rushing. He's right up there with the big boys. Brandon Dawkins does it to Kyle Whittingham again. He cannot believe it. FS1 College Football is presented by Verizon. Rich Rodriguez has brought Arizona football to new levels, just 2 years removed from winning the South Division and making it all the way to the championship game in Santa Clara. See Brandon Dawkins on the evening, what he's been able to do. And, the acceptance of his approach to the game in Arizona is, I think, the most refreshing aspect for him in being out in the desert. They leave him alone, let him win his way. Butler Bird takes the kickoff, and look at him go. Finally run down at the 32-yard line. Sean Brown gets the job done after a 25-yard return. And now let's get a game break in Los Angeles from Mike Hill.
A top-ranked Alabama giving number 16 Arkansas that work today. Tide defense, another stellar job. They forced 5 turnovers, 2 taken back for TDs, including this 100-yarder by Minkah Fitzpatrick. Tide's defense with 7 TDs this season. That's the most in the FBS. Tim and Spencer, Bama rolls again, 49-30.
Many people anticipated, Mike, that would be a close game played like in a phone booth between the hashes. Arkansas had been close to Alabama many times before, but not tonight. Armand Shine in the backfield.
18 offense. 5-yard penalty makes first down.
That's the 5th time we've seen that call against Utah. That'll back him up again.
That was Evan Moyai again, and that's a couple of times he's got called.
6 penalties now. 5 of them have been false starts against Utah.
Jim Hardick, offensive coordinator, not digging that.
Again, a low snap. Shine ahead for a couple of yards. Michael Barton, number 11, making the tackle. You know, this game is about adjusting and adapting, and I think what you notice about Utah is that three-man line that they were using, they've shifted back to 4 in the last couple of sequences, Spencer, and the concern about really the sort of number this Arizona team has on them, I think, is playing head games with them.
Well, I think they're just so active and they're undersized. I think that's what's problematic. You can be big, but if you can't move, you can't really protect, you can't generate the angles you need to be successful offensively.
On 2nd and 13, Williams' pass is caught. Singleton. No, they're going to say it was incomplete. It did come out of his hands. Well defended there defensively. Let's go down to Bruce Feldman with more.
Yeah, Tim, injury update here. Cody Abolito, 5th-year senior, starting Mike linebacker for Arizona. Really one of the team leaders. He's got his pads off. Teammates have been consoling him. Remember, this is a kid who has had knee injuries before, missed all of 2013 and all of last year. He's done for the night, we're told. It's his knee again.
Oh, what a shame.
Well, that's tough.
Beset by ACL injuries going all the way back to 2013, Bruce. 3rd down and 13 here.
It just means Jake Matthews and company is going to have to step up for him.
Timeout Utah with 6:56 remaining here in the second quarter. Well, remember now the Dodgers and Nationals, that NLDS game that was postponed earlier today, it will be on FS1 tomorrow at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific. Clayton Kershaw, of course, the winning pitcher behind some home runs from Corey Seager and Justin Turner. See what happens there. And, of course, that magnificent game last night that kept a lot of people up late, even in this time zone, with the Cubbies. The NLDS on FS1. 3rd down and 13 coming up. And keep waiting for that bust-out moment here for Troy Williams.
Well, this is one of those pressure-type scenarios, but look how deep the linebackers are back here. Going to play coverage instead of create pressure.
Over the middle and caught. It's Moriarty. Look at him. There's an explosive play and a breakout moment right on cue. McCall and Flanagan fouls. Finally stopping.
Moyai just went down the weakest part of the field, that inside slot position. Again, just with the 3-man rush playing zone behind it, meant that there was going to be a little avenue right over the top of it and avoid. Nice job, nice pitch and catch for a sizable gain.
Beautiful seam route run for 59 yards. Moyai and Hanley have been the two more.
Another penalty.
Yeah, and again, it's the tight end. This time it's Harrison Hanley that moves prematurely.
False start. Offense, number 88. 5-yard penalty, makes first down.
And it's odd, and Kyle Whittingham can't really appreciate what's going on. And again, this is at home. This is not supposed to happen. I mean, it's not like you're dealing with crowd noise. This is your backyard. This is just a lack of discipline. Having a devil of a time sitting still.
This is a team known for its discipline. Controlling the football with a stout defense and an offense that controls the football. Look at that. No penalty yardage assessed against Arizona all night. 1st and 15 again. That Arizona forward wall, very active, getting the job done. Fanene, Ayalua.
Barton was in that mix as well.
The first to get there.
Well, again, the exciting thing about just watching the game from the inside in the pit area, it's 3 guys up front that stuff that play, Tim. It obviously is going to get more difficult to score the closer you get inside the 20, but when you can win with just 3 up front, I tell you what, it says something for this undersized stop unit.
Haven't heard much from Reynolds Singleton since the early going in that opening drive of Utah. He's flanked up at the top of your screen. Appears to be man coverage. Williams looking for him right now in the corner. In the air, tipped around, incomplete, and Cruikshank did the job.
Cruikshank denied Singleton an opportunity to make a huge play, but there was also pressure on the quarterback again. The double pump and the fake shake move to the outside, but Cruikshank was there to defend and deny the completion. You can see him.
That's a good play.
Yeah, that's an excellent play, despite the fact he didn't get his head turned around soon enough, but there was enough separation between him and Singleton. No way, not on my watch.
A lot of times the crowds always expect a call there when the head does not turn towards the ball. There is no face guarding in the collegiate game. On 3rd and 15. Markers down yet again, pre-snap.
Ball start. 74 offense. 5-yard penalty. Makes 3rd down.
Oatafe this time is guilty. This is the 7th false start. All but one of the penalties.
Tafe is the right guard, and he's frustrated. And Jim Harding is going to try to do something about it. He may be sending in a replacement, if not a new play.
Yep. Salisi Oatafe, that time the guilty party. Again, a veteran junior. But this offensive line has been maneuvered because of injury all over the place. More false starts with first downs. And the nightmare continues. You begin to wonder if there's something that Arizona may be doing to necessitate this. You see a very frustrated Jim Harding.
False start. 72 offense. 5-yard penalty. Makes 3rd down.
This time it's Garrett Bowles. And
Bowles is the stud out there at that left tackle position, number 72. He's the guy that's destined to play in the NFL. He's a tremendous athletic guy, maybe a little bit undersized. When they put about 15, 20 pounds on him, he's going to be a beast. But today, they just don't have their head in the game. I mean, this is unbelievable. This is not a Kyle Whittingham offense that we're looking at right now.
3rd and 25. Williams going for the corner again. Incomplete. Smith was the intended receiver. Cruikshank again back there with him. We do have a flag down. It's in the backfield of Utah. Looks like holding. That's the preliminary indication. Might have been a hold, which would then again take them out of field goal range. That's something you got to remember here. Even with all the false starts, they were in field goal position.
Personal foul, chop clock. Number 23 and 54. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
So Shine, in collaboration with Asiata, are guilty of the chop block. 23 and 54
is that
right there. Yep.
Yeah, man. Look, you can't block him if he's engaged. If a player, particularly in that interior line area, if a player's engaged in the act of blocking, another player can't come along to assist him, at least below the waist. So it's a clear call, and I think it was a good call.
Well, he said that it had been declined, which it didn't make any sense to me. I don't believe he turned his microphone on to tell us that they, in fact, are taking it, because that takes them out of field position. It's 3rd and 40. There's no way they were going to decline that penalty, but that's what Michael Battler had told us originally. So you got to get the ball to the 3. That's the line to make. Some self-destruction by Utah so far. And again, this time Williams just had to heave it. He was under a lot of pressure, and we've got another flag down in the backfield. And look at the look on his face. Kyle Whittingham in disbelief.
Holding. 74 offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Now you can decline it now because they're already out of field goal range. Hard to believe after that catch was made to get them into the red zone, down to the 13-yard line, and now 10 penalties against Utah. And that's an offensive line coach, the co-coordinator Jim Harding. He's in shock. Wisnowski will Put it away. He's having a good night.
Yes, he is.
42 yards, which gives Rich Rod's team all of 2 yards to work with from their end zone with 4:48 remaining. I'm curious because we've seen so many, and I know, listen, you can just have a bad night. Certainly Utah's offensive front is. But, Spencer, could there be anything that Arizona is doing to precipitate that, and if so, what?
Yeah, Arizona's stemming, Tim, along the line of scrimmage. You can't really move forward without risking getting penalized yourself, but you can move side to side, and that stemming motion is really influencing this offensive line, this rejiggered, reconfigured offensive line of Utah. So, again, they just got to be more disciplined. This is so uncharacteristic of a Kyle Whittingham team. I've never seen this before. Again, last week they had 3 penalties for the entire game.
Well, how about this? Khalil Tate has come in at quarterback, the freshman sensation. From his end zone, he'll let it fly. Looking long for Grant. Samaji was the intended receiver targeted for the first time tonight. Dominic Hatfield, 15, was there with him, and we've got a flag down.
I thought Grant was interfered with down, but the flag came way back here.
Beware if it's holding in the end zone while Tate was throwing the ball.
Holding. Yep. Offense number 69. Half the distance to the goal, remains first down.
It was Betcher. That was Christian Betcher here, number 69. Again, you can see Betcher right here, working inside. Pulls him down. I tell you, that's a iffy call right there, Timmy.
I thought it was in the end zone.
It will be a safety. He takes him down.
That should be a safety.
That's a safety. From that depth, that rear angle, it was tough to tell. But from that side
that
angle,
should be a safety. That ought to be 2 points for Utah.
They got it.
Tate decides to run the play. I think there's a ring down. I bet we're going to be having a review here. I bet that's the call. Very quickly, Tate got the snap so that they could not get the ring down.
Prior to the snap, timeout, Utah.
Wow.
That's their last timeout.
Well, I think maybe Whittingham wanted to get it because he wants them to look at it. You cannot hold in the end zone without that being a safety. And I believe that's what Whittingham is talking to our referee about.
Well, if you look at this guy right here, it's going to be a takedown. Again, you can see the hand up around the face, but the takedown, it's a clear takedown, and they're in the end zone. So the bottom line is this is a safety.
Betcher, 69, hauled down Tassini. Fasoni Tassini, that's a safety. That's 2 points, and Arizona kicking. It's that simple. They missed it. That may be one of those moments where it's not reviewable, one of those plays that falls into that category. But it was certainly missed. Yes, it's not reviewable, and very unfortunate for Utah because that's one of those they need to take a look at in the offseason with the Rules Committee. If it's that obvious, it ought to be. With all of the stoppages that we have today, for that not to be a reviewable play is really unfortunate. But it is, and that's why Arizona still retains possession with half the distance to the goal.
Prior to the snap, Utah called timeout, and they've elected to decline the penalty. It will be second down.
Another thing that would be nice would be for our referee, Michael Batlin, to inform the crowd that's not a reviewable play.
That's right, yeah. I'm just surprised.
I don't know that it would quiet down the partisan fan base, but he could have told us. There's a safety. Tassini gets it done. Redemption for Utah.
Fasani Tassini made no doubt about it this time. Again, you can see him come out on the outside here. Let's see if he gets in and dominates and comes at the point of attack. Stone walls and comes underneath the guard on his side and makes a tremendous play in the backfield. Again, I was questioning whether or not Khalil Tate, your true freshman in this situation, was the best scenario for him.
He beat Betcher again, by the way. Absolutely. 59 beat 69 on offense, and that's the difference And the 2 points goes to Utah. Got to believe that Brandon Dawkins, and perhaps maybe we can find out from Bruce Feldman downstairs, that maybe Dawkins had injured himself, was nicked up, could not get back in. I agree with you, Spencer. Why Khalil Tate started that series from the 2-yard line. I mean, you got to believe it had to do with an injury, or that Dawkins was just nicked up, not feeling well, and needed to come out of the game.
Yeah, despite all of the accolades Khalil Tate comes into this year with, he's a highly touted, multi-skilled, 5-tool weapon as a quarterback, but the bottom line is he's a true freshman. To put him in that scenario, I'm just hoping that it was an injury that necessitated this, because that was not a very smart play.
Edgar Gastelum will kick it away. Corey Butler-Bird is the deep safety awaiting the oncoming kick. Opt to punt or place kick. They decide to put it on the ground. And here's Butler-Bird. Look at him go down the sidelines. Saving tackle by the kicker, Gastelum. The last line of defense, a 32-yard return, and the Utes will be in great shape.
Corey Butler-Bird, what does this is he stems that play and draws everybody into that funnel and bounces it outside. You see all of the white jerseys and the blue helmets in close proximity to one another. Excellent job. Corey Bird does a nice job of stemming it, causing everybody to collapse on him, and then he finds some room to the outside. That's a great special teams play right there.
All things considered, Spencer, Utah's very fortunate to be down only 9.
They really are.
And now, because of the safety, all right, the big play at the goal line by Tassini, they're in position here with great field position to score, cut this baby to 2 by the break. And this has been a disastrous first half for them.
I guarantee you a Kyle Whittingham coach team has not had this kind of performance in terms of penalties in the first half of a game, much less an entire game.
Yeah, they've got an entire game's worth in the first half.
This is
right.
Incredible.
And particularly with all of the false starts for a home team. I don't know that I've ever seen that. Certainly not from one of his clubs. I don't know what this conversation is about necessarily. The field judge, I guess, is echoing whatever was coming from the Utah bench. Wow. Been a rough go for his club. The good news is that after the safety was missed, he did get one. And now they're in great shape from a field position standpoint. Butler-Bird gets nothing as they come back with jet sweep action.
Yeah, Michael Barton was right there in spot to shut that down in a hurry.
Boy, he's been big tonight.
He really has been active. Again, that's just diagnosing a play, Tim, and find out exactly flow to your side. Don't waste any time in trying to read anything. Just stick your helmet right there and shut it down. Barton does a nice job. You can see number 11 here. Just shut this play down. Get great football position with his head right on the outside and puts it right there. Man, minimizes the damage on that play.
Marcel Yates has got to be really happy with the way his defense has played in the first half. 2nd and 12. Williams to Shine. The fake and then the pass for the corner. Incomplete. And the late flag comes down. Raylan Singleton was the intended receiver. And Cruikshank is going to get nailed with a penalty flag. Well, they had the play fake really worked beautifully to Shine that time.
Pass interference, defense number 9, automatic first down.
And I think it was Alex Merriwell that did a nice job of putting pressure, but Cruikshank here over the pack and on top, that's a mugging.
Yeah, that's
going to get called on that every time.
That's a Cruikshanking there.
No redemption on that one. Cruikshank.
1st and 10. And that's the first penalty against the Wildcats in tonight's game. From the 34 of Arizona. Again, a low snap. And it's Shine. Shoestring tackle by Flanagan Fowles, number 6, the sophomore from Tucson. We asked Marcel Yates about a surprise player on his team, and he didn't even flinch. right away, he said, this young man right here.
Yeah, Larry Tharp, though, he just went right past him, number 98, and Shine seats that ball properly, running high, hanging tight, just like you need to. You can see, again, tremendous job of putting that ball on the outside hand, stepping out of a tackle, possibly, but again, shoestring, he'd have to add another 13 yards on that.
Yeah, Flanagan fouls may have stopped him from going all the way. Shine again without the line of scrimmage, perhaps. That's about it. And these snaps are becoming more than just a trend. It's becoming a pattern. And the combination of that and the miscommunication, perhaps, and the loss of someone that meant as much to this team as J.J. Dielman did. I mean, he was really the strength of this team, the anchor of it, the senior. Played at Desert Vista High School, actually, and he's gone for the year. And they're feeling the effects of that loss tonight, this Utah offense. 3rd and 1. Shine should have enough for the first down. Clock stopping after the first at 2 and change.
That guy again, Michael Barton, number 11, in there to minimize the damage on that play. Nowakowski and company, though, trying to mount something up front for his charges. See if they can get something going and go in halftime with a little momentum.
I think these angles that the defensive front have given, you talked about the streaming, what they've done to help bring about some of these false starts. The angles that are coming, I think, have given them some problems. Fanene, by example, moving around on the center spot right here. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Shine. Fans respond to the big hit that was made.
Yeah, that was Michael Barton again. Boy, he has been so active, and that was a questionable one. Pretty much all the activity had settled down.
There's a flag. There is a flag. It was late in coming down.
After the play was over, personal foul. Hitting a player out of the play, number 11 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Yeah, here's Barton again. You can see number 11 here. Just a little pop shot there after everything is done.
Why did it take so long for the flag to be thrown?
Because I thought it was a questionable deal because it was a screen. It was a designed delay screen.
But I mean, look, you see, too, that flag came from the opposite side of the field. The guys right on top of it saw it.
Yeah.
No flag.
Tim, a lot of times on those design screens, when the action is away from where the single guy is, it's designed to bring your attention away from that. And believe me, just like the defenders, the official is looking in another place as well.
1st and 10 from the 12, and the little yellow hanky comes out pre-snap yet again.
Snap infraction, 75 offense, 5-yard penalty, makes first down.
It's happened so often they've changed the name of the penalty to snap infraction as opposed to false start. That's the 9th committed, and this one by Nowakowski, the center. And for those of you just joining us, as was outlined at the open of our telecast by Bruce Feldman, our colleague on the sidelines, this is the first time the original walk-on has ever started a game at center. Williams' pass could have been 6, but it was thrown a little high, and Jace Whitaker could not come up with it. If this pass is on target, it's going the other way.
Well, Jace squatted on that ball, and he read it. His eyes were peeking inside. He was playing what they call a camp technique, all the while looking inside at the quarterback. No deception whatsoever. He sat on that one. And boy, he was coming for a beeline on that pick.
2nd and 15. Tyrone Smith, targeted early in this game, but not often, is flanked to the top of your screen. Shine gets it inside the 10 to the 7. Clock ticking with 1:35 and counting. Tellis Jones, the redshirt senior from Miami, makes the stop.
Yeah, Barton again, number 11, was still flying around in there, but Shine just went right past him, man. Quick as a hiccup for that nice gainer there.
You see there our State Farm halftime coming up. Very active trio in our Los Angeles studio, anchored by Rob Stone, Dave Wannstedt, and Matt Leinart. They've been there quite a while today. Robert Smith was up in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl. On third down, Williams. That pass over the head of the intended receiver, Moiai, but we've got a marker down. Could be pass interference.
Yeah, it was a little contact there. You got to be careful playing zone.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 1, half the distance of the goal. First down.
Looks like Tellis Jones may have had him hooked here, Spencer.
Well, let's see what Tellis is. Number 1 right there. Again, he puts that right hand on him and rides him inside. But, I'll tell you what, to me, that's allowable. I mean, that ball was kind of errant and over the top. It didn't affect the course of the receiver.
Nickel dimer?
Yeah, that is a nickel dimer. That's a cheap call.
Bill Raftery on me and give me a nickel dimer?
That was a nickel dimer call right there, man.
First and goal. Jordan Howard, 35, checks into the game for the first time. The lone setback. Williams goes for the fade. It is caught with one hand. Touchdown, Tyrone Smith. Forget the fact that he was interfered with. He caught it with one hand.
That's interference. Defense. Penalty is declined. Touchdown is good.
Yeah, Jace Whitaker was there, and you can see it. The isolation here, the little nice head, and then reach for the corner. The pad does it, but the one-handed grab, Chase Whitaker is defending him, but you can see Williams is going to take a shot in the process. He pays for it, but my God, that's a great opportunity to score on that particular play. That was Amamama on that play that took the shot. They delivered the shot on Williams.
Fanene, yep. Ialua Fanene, 62, got him right in the chops. That's a huge turnaround, Spencer, when you think about it. The safety, then the quality field position, it erases a lot of the frustration from what has been a very difficult first half for this Utah offense.
It really is. And again, the element of recency comes into play. What you do last, you tend to remember most. At least you can spin it if you're Kyle Whittingham and say, hey, look, we forget about it. Snap and clear mentality. It was a terrible first half, but yet we're still just down a couple of points. They're in a good position to come back and have a better second half.
Let's get a game break. Mike Hill in Los Angeles.
All right, guys, Stanford blown out by Washington last week, trying to bounce back against Washington State, but the Cougars playing tough. On fourth down, Cougars go for it and make it happen. Luke Falk to Tavares Martin, 29-yard score. Martin with both Cougar TDs. It's 14-3 Wazoo in the second.
The mad scientist going to work. It could be a carbon copy of a year ago for that team. They remember they lost to Eastern Washington to open the season a season ago. Went on to a marvelous year, and they're going to be a factor in the late stages of this season.
And I think they did because they discovered a running game. That's something they didn't have.
Makes life easier for Luke Falk. While we have a moment, Fox Sports supports. We'd like to send our prayers and good wishes to those affected by severe weather and other disasters. They need help now, and to support those impacted by Hurricane Matthew, text Matthew to 90999 to give $10 to American Red Cross Hurricane Relief. Fox Sports supports. Well, Brandon Dawkins is back in for this series, and again, he may well have just been a little out of breath the last time they had the ball. We hope to find out perhaps at halftime if that was in fact the case when Khalil Tate came in. The run pass option look here, and a quick out to Samaje Grant. That's the first time he's touched the ball all night, and he's a game breaker. He's a guy that can really get it done for you out of the slot. He did run the ball from a running back position, a la Tyrell Johnson some last week in the loss to UCLA.
Yeah, he just had one catch for 12 yards, but it was for a touchdown. So, again, he can be productive, if not racking up yards.
He loves to run the slant out of the slot. 2nd and 2. That pass is caught on a quick curl to Sean Brown, who had that touchdown catch of 75 yards on the game's opening play. Just like that, Arizona's got it out to the 40-yard line after that 7-yard pickup. Zach Green, the lone setback. Dawkins in the shotgun. He's ahead to about the 41. A gain of 1. Clock goes tick, tick, tick. Tassini made the stop. Quickly the Wildcats take the timeout. Their final one of this half.
One of the things I notice about Dawkins, when he takes his eyes downfield, even against a 3-man rush, he's not looking downfield, and that really puts him at risk. Because if you can keep your eyes downfield, whether it's a 3 or 4-man rush, you can always find a late opening or emerging receiver. You have no shot if your eyes are down and you're concerned about yourself.
Well, neither team can stop the clock the rest of the way. But Arizona certainly has good enough field position if they use the boundaries to their liking. They should be able to move the ball and give themselves at least a shot to the end zone before halftime. You can bet Rich Rodriguez is not sitting on it.
You know what's compelling about his style of coaching, he's quite comfortable of going pace and tempo if he has to run it up, but he can play you a close game as well and still be effective because, again, this is a run-based spread attack, and he can still control the ball with the clock, even with the quarterback that's dinged up a little bit. This is an impressive display from an offensive standpoint of being able to adjust and play whatever's necessary.
Boy, has he hit the mother load in recruiting in the
quarterback
season.
Plenty, man.
He's got some big-timers coming in. They've been a little banged up. Not as productive in the Pac-12 since their 10-win season in 2014, but the cavalry is coming in the desert, folks. Dawkins dumps it on a check down. Are they going to rule it complete? I believe they did at the 47-yard line. It's Shun Brown again. So he did get out of bounds to stop the clock with 20 seconds left. 3rd and 2 coming up.
And it was Tim Patrick that popped him too along the way to get him out of there. And
it's Green. He does get the first down, which stops the clock, and now
we got 2 shots.
Yeah,
here, Tim.
Do you clock it here, maybe?
Yeah, I think you clock it. You clock it and take 2 shots. See, they got another play here. 2nd down. You'll take another shot. Set your kicker up. Perhaps if you can get 10 yards, that would be helpful.
Pollock is 5 of 6 in the field goal category. His longest is 46 yards. You got to figure, though, that if they don't get what they want here, you still could maybe have one last Hail Mary to the end zone. Depends on what happens here. Dawkins again rolling out. Using the sidelines, but that's going to be out of bounds. Nate Phillips did bring it in, but he ran out of terrain.
Yeah, Phillips tried to drag that left foot down. Only need one, but boy, I tell you, that was a little close, Tim. I saw a little black tire tread coming up there. Look at that foot right there. The ball's not in his hands yet, though. And wow,
they may check
that's
it.
Close, Tim.
They may want to check this.
Close. That left foot, ball is not in his hand. Now it's down. That's a catch, man.
Yeah.
Well, does he have control of it there? He takes that left hand off of the ball on the way down, so I don't think he completes that catch. There's no question
well,
he got his...
I think he did. I think he did.
Well,
I think he did.
Was he in bounds on the back half of it? Again, no question that he ultimately had control, but he had his left foot down when he initially touched the ball. But as he was completing the catch, he's out of bounds at that point. So here's another look at it. Let's see. Excellent throw. Phillips, snag. That foot is down. He's still trying to control the ball, but the other foot is out. You can see on the white tarp there. Is an inside look. Excellent job by our crew.
Don't talk yourself out of it, Spencer. I think that's a catch. That's a catch. I mean, I think your original thought was spot on. But we've been proven wrong before.
The
indisputable
information
video
matters.
evidence is sometimes a very subjective line that we use in the college game today.
Well, if they're looking at the angle that we looked at, I mean, it could go either way, Tim.
Well, your suggestion that he didn't have control completely as he was inbounds, I would disagree with. I thought he had control and he maintained it through the catch. Question would be, was the foot down? And I think it was.
Let's see.
After review, it was a completed catch. Ball be placed at the 35-yard line. Timer, put 9 seconds on the game clock, please.
Like I said originally.
I just Mike Pereira'd you there.
Yeah, like I said originally.
All right, so you see the time that they have left. So I guess maybe conventional wisdom is you could get a quick play off in 6 seconds, right? Maybe throw another quick out, get another 5 yards for Pollock. We shall see. 9 seconds on the clock. Plenty of time to get off 2 plays.
Yeah, they sure can. They got an inside with a deep third by the safety. They're not going to make this.
Ball away, intended for Griffey.
Excellent coverage by Utah on that play. Bailing out with the safety of that deep third, just took that go route away from him. That was the only option he had on that play. Pretty good
Use of clock there, though, by Arizona,
yes,
with only the 1 timeout, and they are going to give Pollock a look at a 52-yarder, his longest 46. He's 5 of 6 on the year. Matt Morin, who's just back, he had been injured, is the holder, the redshirt senior, and backup tight end. Slight angle left from the right hash.
That's a tough kick here, man.
Tough snap. Difficult for Morin to get it down, and I think that affected the kick.
I think somebody got a hand on that, too.
I think the snap was not where they wanted it. Both teams have struggled with deep snaps through the course of tonight's game. At halftime, 14-12. Rich Rod's club looking for its 5th consecutive win against the Utes. And let's get to Los Angeles and Rob Stone. FS1 College Football is brought to you by Verizon. A not so happy homecoming early with a fast start for Arizona, but a fast close for Utah, along with Bruce Feldman and Spencer Tillman, Tim Brando. Despite 9 false starts and 11 total penalties, Utah managed to wiggle their way back into this game.
Yeah, it was really a nondescript performance in terms of the offensive line. We know we got new players in position at center in particular, but again, it was a fast start that Rich Rod really started off the beginning, man. This is patented Rich Rod here. Taking the top off the back end. Dawkins, Deshaun Brown showing you some of that speed and elusiveness. Busted coverage on the back half of that. And then Pasini Tassini does a nice job of keeping Utah in it with this sack and the safety. And then the fast finish that you alluded to, Tyrone Smith with an acrobatic one-hand catch after the extra point made it a 2-point affair. And again, if you look at the numbers, they tell the story. But again, it's that 11 number here, 63 penalties, 63 yards in penalties there on those 11 penalties. That's untenable.
Butler Bird takes it from his 3. Special teams have been a problem for Rich Rod coming off of last week. 29-yard return, and Bruce Feldman talked to both coaches at halftime.
Yeah, Tim, I talked to Kyle Whittingham, and he was pretty calm. He said, look, as bad as we played, we're still only down by 2 points. That's pretty reassuring. I tell him, just get your guys settled down, and we're going to be fine. As far as Rich Rodriguez goes, we got to play a lot smarter on defense. He was frustrated by that. Also, getting back to Brandon Dawkins when he got out of the game, he said he just got the wind knocked out of him, and it took him a while to get his breath back before he was settled down.
All right, Bruce, thank you. Yeah, we were told that he had been doubled over along the sidelines during that period, and so as we suspected, he was nicked up. Armand Shine is stopped behind the line of scrimmage, so a negative play to open, and it's Michael Barton who's been all over the place. Spencer, as you suggested in the first half, getting things started in the second.
He has been so active again, and they play him in that position for that very reason. He has the latitude to run. He doesn't have to play the run fits the same way that everybody else on this defensive unit does. He has a lot more latitude in that spur position.
4th tackle for losses in this game. Arizona defensively, for the most part, been very, very active. I know Rich Rod was unhappy with what happened in that last sequence, but they've acquitted themselves nicely. 1 pump fake, And it's incomplete. Just beyond the outstretched arms of Damari Simpkins, number 17. The freshman sensation from Hallandale. One of those outstanding stars, along with Tyler Huntley and Zach Moss, the freshman, all brought in here by Dennis Erickson. Had a chance to visit with the legendary coach of Miami, Washington State, Arizona State, Oregon State. We could go on and on about the stops that Dennis Erickson made.
Well, those Miami years were the years where he really made his mark, I think.
There he is.
He looks good, too, doesn't he?
Yeah, Whittingham calls him as Yoda.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep. He's the sage advice coming from that guy.
Still has strong recruiting ties in South Florida. Out of the rollout, the pass is caught. It's Butler Bird. It's a first down and could be more. Cruikshank gets him out of bounds at the 2. 69 yards.
Well, Butler Bird is showing you some passion in the special teams with a significant return, and again from scrimmage. This guy is here, the dual threat. You can see again, nice job of eluding, getting behind the coverage underneath, making some guys miss an open field. Butler Bird just showing you speed and walk to at the end. He's sucking wind a little bit in his stretch, but has the presence of mind to pull that ball down and extend it to get the closest he could for the score.
Once he got past DeAndre Miller, he set sail for the pylon. Couldn't quite get there. First and goal. And how many times have we heard a whistle before a play at the line of scrimmage in the red zone for that man's team tonight?
There was a play clock malfunction. It should have been set to 25 seconds on our signal. It wasn't. Replay.
Well, the good news for Utah is that it was not a false start.
That's right.
Because that's where it's at this position on the field where they've had many of them tonight. Troy Williams now 11 of 24, 228 in the air, 2 of them for 128 yards. So a couple of big plays in the passing game. Design run, Troy Williams, touchdown.
Troy not known for his running necessarily, a very efficient passer. No interceptions last week, but he just gets behind his lead blockers there on that particular opportunity to score from inside, showing he can be heavy when he needs to be to get scored.
You know, that snap was even low and to the left. He's been having to deal with that through the course of this game. He managed to handle it and get it into the end zone. The big blow came from Butler Bird, the senior from Compton, California. Straight out of Compton. He is bubble up time, isn't he? Yards after catch. Troy Williams doing the league right now.
Corey Butler Bird didn't play against Cal. He's working in the slot position. He'll come all the way across the field. And again, when I'm going to clear this, watch 33, DeAndre Miller in his hip pocket. He's trailing here, but he can't stay with him. That's a mismatch. Outstanding speed. We've seen him burn you on special teams, open field running to finish off this play. Corey Butler Bird showing you how to navigate against zone coverage, even with a man in your hip pocket. It was a man under concept. DeAndre Miller got shaken way before he had an opportunity to run. Nothing but air and opportunity for Corey Butler Bird.
That, by the way, Spence, was the longest pass play of the year for Utah, measuring 69 yards on a simple crossing pattern. O'Shea fumbled it. And then can only get it back out to about the 14-yard line. So difficult starting location for this Arizona team that has now seen 16 unanswered points beginning this run at Utah with 4:38 remaining in the second when the safety became the catalyst. Dawkins was not in the game. Tate actually should have been tagged because of a hold that was in the end zone that wasn't called, but then was sacked by Tassini. They gave up the 2, and the game has swung in Utah's favor ever since.
Yeah, let's see if Arizona can match this tempo and pace in terms of efficiency.
Tyrell Johnson, the converted wide receiver, is at running back. Again, Arizona is without Nick Wilson, and it has hurt them tonight. And there are markers down pre-snap. There should be a false start on the Wildcats.
False start. Offense, number 6. 5-yard penalty means first down.
There's Nick Wilson there, Timmy. They're missing his presence. He's such a physical player, well-built, low to the ground, 5'10", 208 from Fresno, California. The heart and soul of this back end, and I tell you, when they get him going, they're a different team.
Yeah, he's a quick twitch guy, and he can also get you tough yardage. Dawkins in trouble, and again having to negotiate towards the boundary. He just gets out of there. And it'll be second down and 15.
So far, it looks like they've just switched uniforms at the half in the early going. I mean, it's Arizona now with an early penalty. And instead of Arizona with the quick strike and the big play early, it's the Utah Utes come out striking with Corey Bird.
I like the point that was made at halftime by Dave Weinstein. He said he thought that there was a hangover from the end of the Cal game that had adversely affected Utah, that he expected an entirely different approach, both offensively and defensively here in the second half. It is, after all, homecoming, and this is a team that's threatening to beat you for a 5th straight time. Empty backfield. Here comes the push.
Another penalty.
Yeah.
Prior to the snap, delay game, offense.
Yep.
After 50 for goal. Main second down.
That's on Dawkins. Got to keep up with the play clock.
And Rich Rod's looking on. This game is about as even as it gets right now. Arizona with 259 total yards. Utah with 251. But more importantly, the momentum has clearly shifted to the home team.
Fifth Arizona penalty in the last 5 minutes of this game. He tucks it. Outstanding individual effort by Dawkins just to get it to the 12-yard line. Get a little running room here. Chase Hansen made the stop. Their problem has been this. Last in third down efficiency in the Pac-12. Defensively, next to last in getting off the field. And you're going to struggle in conference play if you're that far down from a team standpoint on third down. Zach Green is back in the game. The lone setback. Dawkins under pressure again. He needs help. Plenty of it. Well, that was outstanding pressure, leading to really a scattered circumstance for that young man, Dawkins, to deal with. And it's a punt formation coming up for Arizona.
That was an ugly offensive play, but again, Dawkins did an unbelievable job of remaining alive to minimize the damage on that one, showing you some tremendous elusiveness on that play. That was a piece of art there, man.
Tal Norpin, who really did put the pressure on him, number 50 for Utah. He had to unload it. Booby Hobbs is awaiting the punt from Josh Pollard. That one was almost blocked. Went with that end-over-end kick. Wisely, Booby lets it roll. Gets a healthy bounce for Arizona, and will come to rest at the 39 after a 48-yard dig. The Utes no longer in the hangover, coming out of the doldrums on this homecoming. FS1 College Football is presented by Verizon. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman, Bruce Feldman. As you look at Marcel Yates, defensive coordinator that everyone believes has such an outstanding future, had been at Boise State. This is a high-risk, high-reward defense that he runs, though, Spence. And of late, they've given up some big plays. And those big plays have given Utah all the momentum in this game now.
Yeah, Marcel is strategic about his blitz package, and he also stems to him. You can see he's doing it on that play there with the safety coming down.
Passes to the back shoulder of Hanley. Not sure that it was meant to be. He only gets a yard, so a minimal gain. He walks off gingerly for second down and 9 coming up.
Tellis Jones, that was an opportunity to show you some of that flexibility. Look at the last 2 possessions here, how this game is playing out. It's almost like the script has been flipped.
The good news for Utah, they've remained healthy at running back. Without McCormick, without Zach Moss, Armand Shine has been the guy that has been doing the lion's share of work tonight. Gets it up to the 45-yard line. Barton with the stop, and with more on the Yates defense, here's Bruce.
Well, Tim, it's actually on all the false starts that Utah had in the first half, and I had asked Kyle Whittingham, I said, any way to explain that? And he goes, yeah, they're saying go. They're saying go. They're simulating our snap count, and it's disconcerting signals. We told the refs that should be an illegal procedure penalty on the defense, a 5-yard penalty, but it's up to the refs to call it.
So therein lies why he was so hot in the first half. And he was letting Batlin, the referee, the white hat, know about it through the bulk of the first half. And that pass is incomplete. Pressure was coming right up the gut from Fanene. Butler Bird, the intended receiver. Also, DeAndre Miller was involved.
Louis Fanene came right up the middle. Again, Williams is trying to set his feet, but he can't because Fanene is in his face, and he came heavy. Again, they may be undersized, but they're active, and they do finish and put pressure on the quarterback. Very effective.
Mitch Wishnowsky comes back in to handle the punting. Nate Phillips is once again down at his 10-yard line, awaiting the boot. Another beauty. End over end, landing like a 9-iron, down at the 1. He is something special. Does he ever have anything but a good day? The Aussie?
That's a 9-iron with backspin, man.
Mate, that's better than a Callaway Mac Daddy. What can Arizona do when we come back to stem the tide in Utah? Talk about a weapon. Mitch Wishnowsky is that. He has been remarkable. And to think that he replaced Tom Hackett, first player in Utah and Pac-12 history to win the Ray Guy Award, and he did it a couple of times.
Well, he's an outstanding talent. As you said, he's such a weapon. To be able to pin you down, particularly in a tight contest like this, with the score so close. And again, both teams until now starting to open things up. But I'm telling you, field position is so important when you've got a guy that's got the accuracy and the ability to pin an opponent deep. Well, that's a difference maker.
He's done it. 3 punts inside the 5, 4 inside the 15 tonight. And once again, just thrown where no one could catch up to it. Brown was the closest. Josh Kern comes back into the game, number 17 for Arizona. Again, because of where they're located and the offense that's run, your quarterback is setting up 4 to 5 yards into the end zone.
I'm surprised that Morgan Scalley hadn't really dialed up more pressure down here. Again, given the context of your quarterback that you're facing.
Well, remember, it was Betcher that could not handle Tassini in this situation in the first half. Richrod decides to lay down his quarterback, and it's incomplete. Going for Samaje Grant on the crossing pattern. 3rd and 10.
Pressure again that time by that active Tassini. Again was Totoli.
Sania Taole was the young man that was making that move, no doubt. Very, very effective. Here comes that pressure from the corner. Looking long, underthrown, and it works out beautifully. Caught by Trey Griffey again. Remember, he had a 42-yarder in the first half. Eventually, an interception was thrown inside the red zone. This goes for 40 and gets them out of trouble.
Casey Hughes is defending again, fighting off. Griffey does a nice job of adjusting to that ball. Meantime, Casey Hughes can't identify, and as a result, Griffey is able to come back and make an excellent catch.
Tioli was unable to get there on time in that sequence. Zach Green is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of a couple. Filippo Mokafisi with the stop.
Look at Dawson here on this play. He's just going to throw this with pressure in his face. Turns around. Again, not the most perfect form, but the combination of Griffey on the receiving end makes an outstanding play.
Yeah, let your athlete go make a play, and he did. Bootleg action again. Swings it out to Nate Phillips. Just shy of midfield is Phillips.
It was a Nate Phillips sighting. I mean, They're trying to get back to the line of scrimmage and pick up the tempo just a little bit.
All this starting from the 1-yard line. 3rd down, a yard to go.
Now against pressure.
Isolated again in man coverage. Griffey, that's going to be a penalty flag. It'll go against Hatfield. And a nice job of selling it by Griffey, I thought there, Spencer. You saw him put both arms out as if to say, I can't get there. He's impeding my progress. And Hatfield was, and it brought the flag.
Pass interference, defense number 15. Automatic first down.
Dominic Hatfield is really frustrated by this. Again, you can see the chicken fight, but that hand on that shoulder, and even if it didn't have any impact or effect on Griffey there, just the fact that it's on his back, the hand on the numbers.
I thought he sold it beautifully there.
He did. He sold it. The hands up in the air, said, hey, look, this guy's all over me.
That moves the ball to the 36-yard line. First down, Arizona. Now, we haven't called Rotolele's number that often, have we?
Well, they're in a 4-man front now. That's the problem.
Just a straight read for the quarterback to hang on to it, and Hunter Dimick makes the stop of Brandon Dawkins. Tell you, I am impressed with how Dawkins throws on the run and off his back foot. He's got quite an arm. It's undervalued. I know he's thought of as a dual threat, more effective running than passing at the position, but when he has to air it out, Spence, he can get it there.
Well, he's very efficient. Again, he didn't throw an interception last week, and again, the thing about him that makes him special, his willingness to play injured like he's demonstrating with the ribs now.
2nd and 9. Pressure. Flags down. Thrown in an area where you'd expect holding. He's down at the 34-yard line of Utah. We'll have to check the flag, and we've got, is that him slow to get up?
Yep.
I believe it is.
Offense number 64. 10-yard penalty. Main 2nd down.
Nathan Eldridge, the center, is guilty here.
You can see the hands again. Nathan has him. He's just a takedown, man. That's WWE. And here's a big hit on Dawkins on the back end. Runs into his own guy there, and it's a late hit, but wasn't clear where it was, but he grimaced as he got up. Clearly he's in pain.
He's been playing with it for the last couple of weeks. Backs them up to the 46-yard line. Tyrell Johnson back in the game on 2nd and 19.
Well, you got a movement by the guard there. They didn't get him.
Pressure, backside. And that will bring a penalty flag. No doubt about it. Brian Allen got him. Sean Brown was in position. And the late push coming from number 14 was evident. Veteran player, and I don't know that pass was going to be completed. Yeah, I think Allen is saying it was deflected, so therefore they should pick up the flag. And that's what the discussion may be about.
Yeah, that's the maturity of the senior out of Lamarck.
The flag in the field was for pass interference. However, the ball was tipped. There is no foul in the play.
I think Rich Rod begs to differ.
Well, Brian Allen is selling it no matter what. Yeah. Again, the senior. That ball was tipped. Hunter Dimick clearly got a hand on it and deflected that pass, and Brian Allen helped him out, his teammate, and sold it.
Rich Rod.
He's trying to get the personnel.
Getting his man, get the personnel groupings in, and Green is late to get in.
They had a little problem with that last week, Timmy, getting their personnel in.
On 3rd and 19. That pass is incomplete. Marker down. Might have been picked late by Marcus Williams. Might have been snared out of the air.
Yeah, they may get Chase Hansen, though, for targeting. We'll take a look at it, but, boy, he really delivered a blow. Number 22, Chase Hansen, really came hell-bent for election on that play.
Nate Phillips, the intended receiver, had it. Ball popped into the air. And I thought Marcus Williams snared it. You see, I don't think there's any question that the ball, if it's not targeting, then it's a pick.
It was a bang-bang play, and I understand why they called it just from a cautionary standpoint, but I think Hansen may have gone in with his shoulder on the side. It was so fast and so violent, you could hear it here, all the way up here between the walls.
Michael Batlin, our referee.
There is no foul in the play for targeting.
Yep.
The ball was intercepted. First and 10.
It was picked. It was picked, and it's Marcus Williams who got it after Hansen made the big hit.
Well, Hansen is clearly going to put his head to the side. That's what the official ruled. And you can see he had his shoulder. That was just a perfect textbook tackle there by Hansen. That was a beautiful display of defensive ability on that play.
And Phillips actually kicked it slightly to keep the ball in the air with his foot, which enabled Williams the opportunity to get the interception. Watch this.
That was just great teamwork there. I mean, first of all, the textbook tackle, the hit by Chase Hansen, and then the alertness. We've seen this 3 times today. I'm
glad they picked up the flag on the targeting because that was a clean shot. He led with his shoulder. Second interception against Dawkins, and there is yet another pre-snap flag.
False start.
Garrett Bowles.
Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. Gains first down.
Usually it's for the other team. See, and tonight it's not. They flipped the script on that. So that backs them up again to the 21. They've got a lot of 1st and 15s and 1st and 20s tonight, Utah.
If my math is right, I think that's 2, possibly 3 on Garrett Bowles at the left tackle.
Yeah. Shine dragged down after a gain of about 2.
Well, Larry Thop did a nice job on that. Let's take a look at the previous penalty and see if the movement along the line of scrimmage is something that affects the outcome here. You can see the stem. You see the little stem movement? That's what causes those offensive linemen to get nervous. When they know they've got to block at certain angles, when they start to see those defenders stem to a position, they're not moving forward, but they get really antsy. Because this is a very elite, quick front 4. Underside, they're doing it again.
2nd and 14. Shine. It's been the big play, whether on the ground or in the air, that has equalized the penalty flag problem for Utah offensively.
Well, here's another look at it again. The zone read, the mesh point is there, but it's about getting hooked on the outside. Just a tremendous job of running tough and physical.
Shine now with 52 yards on 14 carries. Coming into the game, he had 59 carries, 272 and 3 touchdowns. Carried it 25 times last week, probably that and more this week. Williams right to his tight end Hanley. Into Arizona territory at the 47. That's a first down.
Jarvis McCall Jr. was playing and defending number 29 on that play. He turned his back. Williams does a nice job of turning around. Boy, that looks like one of those old red gun kind of formations we used to run back in Houston in the old day. I just wanted to make sure it was clear when I was seeing what I was seeing. It was an outstanding job of reading.
Going long for Simpkins, incomplete. And a marker down. Cruikshank again was back there with him. He must have gotten his arm in there too quickly. They've really been going after him.
Pass interference. Defense number 9. Automatic first down.
He's unhappy with that one. I believe he felt he had good technique.
Well, Simpkins is going to leave out, but Cruikshank here, you can see his left hand is there.
Yeah, he's got him.
He's got him grabbed by the jersey, pulling it down. He's got good position.
They allow some jousting, but the PI in college football today is a subjective flag. It's the hardest call in the game, and players, defensive backs, have to adjust to the way it's called week in and week out. 1st and 10. Option Williams. To the 26-yard line, a healthy gain. Let's get a quick game break from Mike Hill in Los Angeles. Mike?
Hey, guys, listen, look at what's happening in Palo Alto. Cougars putting it on the Cardinal, going 10 plays, 81 yards on this drive. James Williams with a 2-yard run. Washington a 21-3 lead in the 3rd. Back to you.
All right, Mike, that secondary issue that was exposed by Washington against Stanford last week has carried through to this week with the Cougars getting it done with Luke Falk and company. Armand Shine Touchdown.
Armand Shine working on the left side. Again, Garrett Bowles and the company blocking for him. He just steps through a couple of tackles there. That's a nice job of running, but more importantly, that offensive line with Garrett Bowles and company. Isaac Asiata doing a fantastic job of blocking him for him along the way.
Olatate also did a really nice job that time blocking. They sealed that left side, Spencer T. 70. Did you see that?
Yep, that's nice.
You could have driven a Mack truck through that hole, let alone Armand Shine. They are high kicking in Salt Lake City now here at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Yet another sellout homecoming crowd, and now 4 scoring drives, a safety, and then 3 straight scores for this Utah team. And it's Shine going 26 yards to culminate the 74-yard drive, and 23 unanswered points now for the Utes, trying to end a 4-game skid against this Arizona team. Sean Brown is back deep, and he'll take it at the 1. Nice defensive work out to the 30-yard line as Evan Egman made the stop. 29-yard return. Let's take a look at the Pac-12 standings now. Colorado losing at the Coliseum today, 21-17, has opened up the South in a very large way. And by the way, Cal and Oregon State have just gone into overtime after a field goal by California. So Beavers looking for that long-awaited conference victory. Khalil Tate has come in at quarterback now for Arizona. Freshman sensation from Inglewood. Zach Green takes it right off tackle and ahead for a healthy gain. Chase Hansen made that big hit that led to the pick a few moments ago. Made the stop again.
You look at Khalil, the way his body mannerism, they're not going to change anything from an offensive standpoint as Dawkins looks on right now, being tended to, perhaps maybe a little bit winded and perhaps still suffering from those rib injuries. But this guy that's in there is slick now.
He sure is, and he's thick to go along with it. Look at the strength there. Keeps the play alive and then throws it away, and it's intercepted. Live to fight another day, young man. Dominic Hatfield with the interception. After all of that work to stay alive, an ill-advised throw.
Well, Hatfield made him pay for it again. That's the downside of a young player. Again, he shows you elusiveness. All of this stuff looks slick. He avoids Chase Hansen and company coming after him, but ultimately, this is an ill-advised pass. He even squares up and has the presence of mind to put the ball in the correct hand, but that's an ill-advised intent there by the young quarterback.
Well, the pressure came from Marcus Williams, the man for whom intercepted Dawkins moments ago. And it led to yet another pick, the third by Arizona quarterbacks tonight. Poor young guys felt the brunt of it on the receiving end of a safety and an interception. Armand Shine gets it to the 41-yard line. Tellis Jones, the tackle. This is a must-stop situation, really, you'd have to think, for Marcel Yates' defense. Now suddenly they have become fatigued, been on the field quite some time, with the ebb and flow of this game really changing after that safety at the 4:38 mark of the second quarter.
And for the time being, it seems like Utah's gotten their penalty situations under wraps, and maybe the movement by this undersized Arizona front not affecting the way it was in the first half.
Yeah, they've given up the big plays, just enough of them to offset those disciplined plays that have gone against them. Williams, nice ad-lib job, takes himself out at the 22-yard line of Arizona. That's a 18-yard gain.
And he put Michael Barton, number 11, in his hip pocket and just ran for those 18/19 yards. And it was an outstanding job of, number one, milking the coverage for all it had. You see Barton gets caught up in the wash here, and Williams pulls it down and just outruns him to the sideline for a big gainer. That's outstanding. And a little shiver at the end of it. How about that? Take that with you.
6 carries for 28 yards for the junior from Carson, California. The freshman Simpkins is down at the bottom of your screen on first down. Williams lost it for Moriarty. Just beyond his outstretched arms. It was there, and Williams knows it. Just needed a little more air underneath that one.
Demetrius Flanagan fouls in the back end. Got beat on that cover. Moriarty did a fine job of getting behind him to almost make a fantastic play.
They have dominated this quarter. Williams now 13 of 28 for 245 in the air. Facing a 2nd and 10 here. Option to the wide side of the field. Late pitch. That was trouble from the get-go. The boundary saved them that time. Armand Shine never really had control of it. Jarvis McCall was in there to lay the wood.
Jarvis McCall Jr., number 29, comes into your camera here again, is zeroing in on it. Boy, I tell you, that's a dangerous proposition as an old option guy. I'm going to tell you, you want to seat that ball properly. Put it in that outside hand so you can use that right one to fend off that oncoming defender.
From the 19 now of Arizona, 3rd and 7. Tyrone Smith, 21, to the bottom of your screen.
Dropping 8.
Williams. Discretion being the better part of valor. He hits the deck at the 17, and we'll have a field goal try upcoming. Little wolfing going on after the play.
He's been chippy ever since he threw that forearm shiver, even before. And the theme that's emerging now is these explosive plays. Even though they're going to have to settle for the field goal here, he came in, did Williams, with 6 plays of 40 yards or more. He added a couple tonight already. And they, in the second half, have taken on a totally different identity.
Holding them to 3 would make it still a 2-possession game as Andy Automatic puts it through. "35 yards the boot for Phillips this time. And this entire streak started with the safety. And it was Poseidon Tassini, 59, who beat Christian Betcher, 69.
And it was Tate on both occasions here. And then it had led to this one-handed outstanding catch by Smith to get him back in contention. And then Williams going in the ground, scoring the combination of that and then Shine with a high step in action into the score has this game and this Arizona Wildcat team scratching for some opportunity to get back in this mix.
It was a must that they hold them to 3 there to maintain contact in what would be a 2-possession game, a 15-point cushion. Hayes Hicken will kick this one away, 92. As I mentioned, they've used 3 different men in that position of kickoff. Hicken is known for having the best leg of the 3. And he illustrates it here. It's a touchback. Arizona will take over again at their 25. A reminder, Monday MLB postseason play continues. The Cubbies look to clinch their NLDS series against San Francisco. NLDS Game 3 at 9 Eastern Monday on FS1. They lead the series 2-0, winning 5-2 at Wrigley tonight. Madison Bumgarner will be going for San Francisco in that game. Chicago trying to fight history. And there's Dawkins, who again is reduced to spectator to close out a Pac-12 game. Khalil White remains in at quarterback. Rolling out and throwing it to Trey Griffey, who's been effective tonight. 2 big catches of better than 40 yards. He gets 11 and a first down on that one.
Tate showing you some touch on that as well. We know he's got a big arm, but he's also, despite being young, has an affinity for putting some touch on the ball. But ultimately, he'll make a poor decision as he did on the previous drive and cause his team to be in a hole.
See a little bubble formation up at the top of your screen, and it's Tyrell Johnson. He gets it ahead to the 40-yard line, and with more on this outstanding freshman, Khalil Tate, here's Bruce.
Yeah, Tim, I talked to Scott Altenberg. He was his high school coach at Sarah High School. That place cranks out terrific players. Marquise Lee, Adoree Jackson, Robert Woods, all at USC. He said, you know what, this is as competitive kid as I've ever been around. Every play to him is like the last play of the Super Bowl, but sometimes he's got to learn just to let it go and play the next play.
We've seen that already in this game, but his resourcefulness kept him alive and got him very near another first down on that play.
I think what he's getting here tonight is just the kind of experience that you need. You know, you talked about the many quarterbacks that have committed to Arizona and that will be here next year. This is a competition thick and rich context, and he's not shying away from that competition at all.
Now, Rodriguez is known around the country for a guy that's going to bring in a half dozen or more every spring. And the way the position is played in this offense, you know you're going to need multiple quarterbacks. They're going to absorb some hits like that. Khalil gets it again out ahead for at least 6, maybe 7. And he gets up gingerly. I think they're going to mark him only 5 yards beyond the original line of scrimmage. So 2nd and 5 coming up. That's Filippo Mokafisi, 45, that is getting up gingerly, making his way with some assistance to the sidelines. They're the 2 leading rushers on this team. Nick Wilson, who was dressed to warm up, couldn't go, and Dawkins, who, like last week, fought through it for as much as he could, and then had to surrender as his ribs could no longer take the punishment.
Of all the injuries that you have, it's tough to play with. The ribs probably got to be up at the top, Tim.
Oh, yeah. Especially when you're trying to throw on the run, right? 2nd and 5. Look at him get away from that. Wow. Well, just getting back to the line of scrimmage after being wrapped up the way he was, that takes some power. A lot of strength. Taumoepeanu was the first to get there, and he just couldn't wrestle him down.
Yeah, Peter just spun on top of him, man. He's just like a whirling dervish.
3rd down and 3. Bootleg action again. He's in trouble. Gets it to the 45-yard line. They'll still be 2 yards shy of the first down as we come to the end of the 3rd. Hunter Dimick makes the stop. Arizona will be looking at 4th, probably 2.5 to 3 yards when we come back. Be interesting to see if Rich Rod uses this time to maybe figure out what to do to keep Utah's offense off the field. They've had the better of it since late in the 2nd quarter. FS1 College Football is presented by Verizon. As you look at the score by quarter, Arizona had really control of this game until a safety was recorded with 4:38 remaining in the 2nd quarter, and it's been downhill since.
Well, give credit where credit due. Utah's just been outperforming and outcoached Arizona in the 2nd half.
A late substitution, and Josh Pollock, I believe, is now going to come in to quick kick it out of there. As Zach Green left, that's what they decided to do, and then he really shanked it badly. Got nothing out of that. You know, maybe 18 yards, 20 tops.
Rich Rod's not happy about that.
Special teams have been a real problem for Arizona. Let's get to Los Angeles now for a game break from Mike Hill.
Hey guys, Cal was down 17 with 7 minutes left against Oregon State. Came back, forced overtime, but in the OT, Beavers down 3. Darrell Garrison, a 16-yard run, game winner. Oregon State's Pac-12 losing streak over at 12. 47-44 is your final.
Gary Anderson was in search of a signature victory since becoming the head coach there. We saw them against Boise just a couple of weeks back, and I know he feels confident in Garrettson's capability. That's a huge win for them against a Cal team that had been playing very well for Sonny Dykes. Armand Shine stopped by Michael Barton. It speaks to the depth and balance, I think, in this league. And as good as Washington looks right now, and they appear to be the class of the lot, particularly given what has happened now in the South Division, Spencer, I think it's going to be very difficult for anyone to come out of this league unscathed.
Well, the team that has the best quarterback, and I think what Washington is doing right now, they probably have the best quarterback play with Jake Browning. I think ultimately that's going to determine who emerges champion in this league. 2nd
and 8, and Williams, the former Washington Husky, ducks under and gets it to the 26-yard line. And that'll bring up a 3rd down. Arizona looking for a stop and a chance to get the ball back. Again, only 2-score separation with almost the entire 4th quarter remaining.
I think the thing that's encouraging, if you're looking at this from Utah's standpoint, Troy Williams, your quarterback, is one of the most efficient guys quietly. Last week against Cal, he was 24-43 for 266 yards, but 0 interceptions. And again, that kind of efficient play, you can win games.
He has plenty of time here. Pass is incomplete. It was low, but Simpkins could not bring it in, and it'll be a punt formation. You know, going back to that, the Utes were really feeling badly when they got back from that game for a team that controlled the line of scrimmage the way they did. They had run out of timeouts. There was a problem with communication between the referees and Kyle Whittingham that cost them that. And he believed that it had a lot to do with decision making from Troy on one play, and then their inability to get Shine in on a play that they felt was right there for them. And they were stuffed inside the 5-yard line. That boot is another dandy from Wisnowski, and it rolls dead again at the 15. Average starting location for Arizona is about their own 15. Oh, shake it down, shake it down. It's homecoming in Salt Lake City. FS1 college football is presented by Verizon. Still plenty of time remaining, along with Bruce Feldman on the sideline, Spencer Tillman here, Tim Brando. You look at this Arizona situation, they can't get anything done at the running back position. The only yards are coming from their quarterbacks. What must the freshman do here to keep his team in it?
He's got to be efficient. First of all, he can't make mistakes. That ill-advised pass he threw that was the interception really was just part of a problematic second half. They're being out-coached, are the Wildcats of Arizona. And then this Utah team alternately came back out of the gates. Corey Butler-Burton with the big play, and Troy Williams has just navigated them down the field, running the ball, Shine on the ground. It's a combination of all of that. They've totally flipped the script in this game.
Griffey scooped that one up. Got it just before the short hop. A nice catch by the veteran, 5th-year senior from Orlando. He's really improved markedly from year to year. I remember in my hometown at the Independence Bowl as a freshman, he was playing it. I couldn't get over the fact that in my hometown I was watching Junior take pictures of his son on the field. I'll never forget that. Tyrell Johnson is in the game, and he takes it. Well, the fake is to him, and it's kept by Khalil Tate. Good play fake to Johnson, and Tate burrows ahead to about the 36-yard line. Be interested to see if they can. I mean, they haven't been able to get Samaje Grant unleashed anywhere. You got to give Brian Allen a lot of credit. The veteran corner, he has done the number, made sure that there's been very little, if any, separation. Tate again will carry it. Pushed out of bounds beyond the 45. That's going to be a late hit. Marcus Williams just kept pushing him through the sideline, and that's going to be 15 additional yards.
One of the things you saw is this Tate's physicalness, his willing to take contact, and I don't know if that was warranting a penalty.
He kept riding him through.
After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense, number 20, contacting a player out of bounds, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Okay, let's see. Marcus Williams is going to make contact after he's out of bounds. He's just riding him out. I really don't know if that's that egregious. This is a push.
It's a push. It's a push. And again, this is a point of emphasis. I mean, it's the way football must be played in this day and time.
He's as shocked as I am on that one.
It wasn't egregious. No. I agree.
I think you got to have more nuance than that. I mean, again, if it...
First and 10. On the read, Tate keeps it. And launches himself inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. That's where they'll rule him down. Boy, he is not only, you mentioned slick, but he's strong, very thick, 6'3", 210.
The thing I like about him, again, is you can bridle that confidence that he does have, and he's got touch on the ball, so you can work with that. It's usually when the guy's unbridled, unpredictable, makes mistakes, can't be coached. Those are the tough ones. This kid is pliable.
I love his size and his strength. Green to the 25-yard line.
You know, Rich Rod said that about him and his personality and his disposition, the stage is not too big for him. In fact, he says that he practices actually worse than he plays the game. When he's in the game, he's actually more settled.
I tell you, Tautioli has done a nice job, really since midway in the second quarter, of holding down that center, that middle of the Utah defense. Sania, number 19, has played really, really well. Had that big fumble recovery, you'll recall, against USC. On 2nd and 7. You can see that this offense right now, if it's going to move on the ground, it's all about the quarterback position.
Yeah, it really is, and that's the way it's actually designed, and that's in keeping with what Rich Rod told us. He says, look, we're not going to change anything. Doesn't matter who's in the game. So Khalil Tate is a young quarterback, but he's running the same plays that Dawson would run, or Anu Solomon. It doesn't really matter.
About this time last week, he was thinking he was a red shirt. They had to pull it off. And Zach Worlinger also got hurt. Under pressure this time. Again, a tough pass, but it's caught by Grant. Samaje Grant, the veteran, comes back and does the job to save the freshman this time.
Yeah, Khalil, I probably shouldn't have thrown this one. This was a 50-50 ball if you've ever seen one. He threw this one up, and Grant paid it off for him, coming back to the ball to make a nice catch.
You know, if they score here, Spencer, things will tighten up quite a bit. They have won 4 in a row in this series, and in not every case would you have said they completely outplayed Utah. They just made enough big plays to win. Straight run for Tate, and again, running out of room, he'll just take himself out of bounds. It was Williams again, who this time I think did do a nice job of trying to hold up as he got to the sideline.
Marcus held up that time. That was about as egregious as the other one was. I mean, he mounted him and rode him out on that one.
Well, instead of pushing, he just kind of cradled. See?
Come on, man.
That's the key.
You give that guy an 8 on that ride. That's an 8, man. Look at, he mounted him.
2nd and 15. Play clock is winding down on the freshman. That's the problem. Green can't get loose. Tassini, nice job closing that play down, number 59. The youngster that came in from Snow College started all this for Rich Rod when he picked up that safety, beating Christian Betcher at the guard position to close down on Tate, who collected that safety when Dawkins was originally injured in the first half. 3rd and 15 now from the 19. Well, there was a mix-up there between Griffey and Tate. Griffey was running a slant. Tate was throwing a fade. And it's 4th down.
Obviously, there was some miscommunication in the underneath route, and Rich Rod's saying, what were you reading? Well, clearly Griffey was in the right on that particular play. The fade was there.
He's expressive, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's so effective, though, man. So effective.
Josh Pollock looks to make it a 13-point game. This is a 37-yard try. And he gets it through. That was a very important kick to make it now a 12-point game. Started difficult for Utah, but they found their way with their tenacity, their defense, and a sellout crowd. (29-17), Utah with the lead. Arizona electing to get the points. I think understandably so in that sequence, Spencer. Why put the game on the line at this stage? Just to get as much as you can, especially with a freshman in at quarterback.
Well, clearly that wasn't 4-down territory, but I will say this, based on how the game and the pace of it and the productivity is gone, Arizona doesn't have a lot of positive to look at in terms of anticipating being able to move the ball. They've just not been effective this half. Alternately, Utah has.
Corey Butler-Bird again is back deep. Pollock with a little pooch kick that's angled toward the boundary. Taken by Armand Shine, who was back there as an up back. Gets it ahead to the 33-yard line. Well, nobody sees sports quite the way Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock do. The brains to know, the guts to say. Catch Colin and Jason as they team up for FS1's daily sports talk show. Speak for yourself. Weekdays at 5 p.m. Eastern. People have been saying that to me for years.
I was getting ready to say, that sounds familiar. Whoa.
Might as well zing yourself before someone else does. Troy Williams, boy, very quietly, just like his demeanor, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Having a very good night.
Well, the kid understands there's bibliography and footnotes to his life, and he uses it in a profound way.
Nice reverse. Here they come with Butler-Bird.
Whoa, what a nice move.
A whiff. And finally taken down by Belknap, 86 after a 17-yard gain at midfield.
Demetrius Flanagan fouls, just whiffs on this. Watch number 6 coming back the opposite direction. Oh, see you later, guys. Smoke through a keyhole. That showed some great open field running and elusiveness by Butler-Bird on that play. Boy, he's quick as a hiccup, man. He's something else.
Combination Lydell Carr, Spencer Tillman at work there. Shine again.
Well, he went down. I think oh man, that's tough on that.
Oh, this is not. You talk about bad news.
Yep.
They needed him to stay upright all evening long. Remember, Zach Moss is out. He can't go. Troy McCormick injured last week as well. He can't go. Yep. This will get them to Marcel Manalo, who's a redshirt freshman.
And we don't speculate on injuries, Timmy, but I can tell you this. I've seen enough of those types of plays when a guy goes down like a shot.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That is so very sad. Jordan Howard also, redshirt junior college transfer, could also come. Yeah, that looked like it buckled.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy. 14-yard gain. That got him over 100 on 19 carries, too.
Mm-hmm.
We'll hope for the best. They have Armand Shine on a cart along the sidelines there. He had just gotten to his career high, 101 yards, before that knee buckled. And such a shame to see a young man like that, and particularly given all of the other injuries that they've incurred at that position. We wish him all the best. Jordan Howard has come in, the junior college transfer from Riverside Community College, number 35. 1st and 10 with the ball at the 36-yard line of Arizona. Out of the gun, straight running play for Williams, and it's open for him. Is it ever? 1st down inside the 25 to the 23.
Well, they had a tight bunch formation on that left side, and Garrett Bowles, left tackle number 72, just scooped around here. That little bunch formation, 72 scooping around to find somebody to block, and he just levels that inside backer. And again, Williams does a great job of moving upfield for a nice gain.
9 carries, 44 yards. You know, I loved listening to Troy talk about his upbringing and what he went through. Simply the journey, the path that he had to take to get to this position as a starting quarterback in the Pac-12. His short story was a thing of beauty. It's Jordan Howard Gets it to about the 18-yard line. Williams went out of his way to talk about his dad being tough on him while raising him. And he said he didn't always understand it, but he did as he got older. And then when he was going through the difficulty at Washington, his dad told him to give it every chance that he could. And then ultimately when he left and he went to junior college, he got there and he realized, how good he had it. And then when he finally did get the call to come to Utah, and he tells everyone at the training table this, hey, be grateful. Be grateful for what you have, because he's been through so much on this circuitous route to becoming the starting quarterback at Utah. Nice. He's done it all. He wanted to get that one in. He really wanted to get that one in.
You can see again, this is just a little nice design draw, quarterback draw, the patience to wait on it open up, and you can see Williams does a nice job of spinning and of eluding there. But just to finish the thought that you talked about, Timmy, he said about in high school when he figured out that as the kids would come to his house and hang around and play around, they knew that his place was the place everybody wanted to be. And so the bibliography and footnotes was there. He said the light came on to him about that time, that all of what his dad had said about him and to him about growing up was paying off.
First and goal. He's trying to put a period on the evening. He ducks under to about the 1. And about Washington, he stays in contact with many of his former teammates. He's friends with them all, wishes them nothing but the best. But after Coach Peterson got there, he realized that, as a quarterback, he wasn't Coach Pete's cup of tea. And the adjustment needed to be made. And by the way, transfers, grad transfers, undergrad transfers at that position, 40% of the starting quarterbacks at the FBS level have transferred at some point in their careers.
I just think that speaks to the part that is such an important position, and you have to almost see yourself as a CEO.
Low snap, no problem. Touchdown.
Well, again, another design run. The ball was low, but he got it and put his head down and went and got the score. That's the one he wanted so desperately on the last opportunity. It paid off there. Williams is an outstanding young man, so staged, so balanced. Coach Whittingham paying it off for him. He's got a star there, man.
Yeah, those two are connected. There's no denying that. Kyle very high on this young man. What is a family atmosphere here. The fit, which does matter, is right where Troy Williams would want it. So much for that hangover beginning. Wani was right. A different Utah team in the second half. Some night for that guy. He's taking control of this game in the second half, Troy Williams. The lead now 36-17. And let's go down to Bruce.
Yeah, Tim. Yesterday when we were talking to Kyle Whittingham, this is a guy who's regarded by his peers as one of the toughest, most competitive guys in the coaching business. And I asked him who on the team most reminded him of himself, and he said Troy Williams. That's high praise from a guy like Kyle Whittingham.
Yes, it is. And by the way, Bruce, while we have you, we were talking about Brandon Dawkins, and he obviously had some rib issues at one point in the first half when Tate came out. I gather that there were more injuries. He's left the field, I've noticed. So was he injured beyond that portion of his anatomy in the second half?
Yeah, we think he took a big shot in the third quarter. That was the one he was, kept down for a little bit and looked a little bit. The trainers were around him. He didn't look like he was quite right. They let him sit on the sideline, and then they eventually brought him into the locker room.
Actually, that play when he ran into his own men, effectively trying to get away from pressure. 1st and 10 for Khalil Tate with Zach Green. The setback. Grant on the quick slant, stopped at the 32-yard line. Samaji in the arms of Brian Allen. Brian Allen is very, very effective at his position. They allow press man coverage for him. They put a lot on his plate, really, Spence, and he doesn't always even start the game. And he got burned a couple of times in the game with Cal. But he also made some plays. He had a pick to go with it.
You know, I was talking to him down on the field as Green takes the handoff there. And Reed has a certain countenance about him. He's married, has a child now, and he carries himself with a measure of confidence that you would expect of a guy with that kind of responsibility. So he was able to shake it off and go to the next level and come back unaffected. And so to see him play well today is outstanding. That's how you come back.
He said, we take this game personally.
Yep.
You know, and interestingly, he mentioned BYU, a team that they've beaten, versus a team he had not beaten in his 5 years. There he is, being burned as we speak. Samaje Grant wins that one. So they put him on an island. You saw an example of his quality play, and that time he's beaten 63 yards by Samaje Grant.
Well, that ball couldn't have been thrown any better.
It was beautiful, wasn't it?
It was on a dart, and again, just Grant had his fingertips out there, and you can see it again. The young true freshman just puts this one out there. Wasn't necessarily the prettiest ball, but it was on the mark. In terms of depth, it speaks to the touch that he has we referenced earlier. Khalil Tate, young, but this kid is going to be something special.
You know, Alan, we asked him about Samaje Grant and his technique against him, and he said Grant is a quick twitch guy, and you've got to be, your technique's got to be perfect. That time, Samaje got some space, and he made him pay. But I don't think that's ever going to stop Utah defensively.
That's their first.
That's never going to stop Morgan Scalley from having the confidence to have him in press man against the opposition's best receiver.
Yeah, because everybody loves his long. He's long. You know, his levers are so long that he can create separation. And again, Grant just got speed, as you said. They'll fast switch fibers. And again, give him credit for his eyes moving the safety over so that there's no help from that single safety. And Allen just got beat. That's just speed. And when you're long and rangy like Allen is, sometimes it's tough to squat and get in a position to disrupt a smaller Grant off the line of scrimmage. He talked about redirecting him. He didn't do it in that play.
Grant got a little space, and with a guy that's that good, he's burned a lot of great defensive backs through the years. Brian understands that you're going to have a few of those that go the other way. Come back and make another play next time out. We're going to go for two here. Tate. Rifle that one over Phillips. Incomplete. So it remains a 13-point game, 36-23, with 4 minutes and 15 seconds left. And get your hands team ready for the kick. Big night for the Utah quarterback, Troy Williams. 13 of 29, 245, and a lot done on the ground to go with it.
Well, he's been outstanding again. He showed you some tremendous touch, the ability to run the football inside, run heavy when called upon. Again, even when the ball was put down on the ground, he was able to kind of make a good situation out of a bad effort. You know you've got a center that's taking snaps for the first time in his career. And again, I think when you look at the trajectory, the numbers today are impressive. But Tim, in the first couple of games against Utah that they had against BYU and then San Jose State, Troy had 4 interceptions in those games, and since then he's not thrown one. He's had over 106 attempts since that time, and he's been perfect.
By the way, next week this Utah team will go to Oregon State, who will be very happy this week after their overtime win against Cal. Then it's off to UCLA and Washington to close out this month. They still figure into the equation, and Kyle Whittingham is so accustomed to great success. Here comes the onside, and it appears that C.O.C. Wilson is on top of it, and he is, the redshirt freshman on the hands team.
Cedric Peterson did a nice job of bouncing on it. Again, that ball was a little bit hot. Nice design, though, putting a kicker in a position where that front L5, the guy that's in front of him, doesn't see it coming his way, but ball didn't take the kind of bounce you wanted to.
Yeah, a lot of teams are executing that sort of a DQ with one kicker, and in this case, the usual place kicker did handle the chores. So the ball at the 48-yard line. Utah wants to get a couple of timeouts and get out of here with a homecoming win and end a 4-game losing streak to Arizona. Jordan Howard barrels through pickup of about 7 that time. Flanagan fouls, makes the tackle.
It's a nice piece of heavy running there by Howard. That's the type of thing you need to do to salt away a game.
Well, some streaks coming to an end. The Oregon streak over Washington ends tonight in a big way. They hung 70 on them tonight. Jake Browning, another magnificent performance for the Huskies, and it appears that Utah will end the 4-game slide against Arizona. Neither one of these teams at full strength by a long shot. Howard again dances and prances inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line. Another first down. And here's more on Jordan Howard from Bruce Feldman.
Yeah, Tim, Jordan Howard's actually lucky to be still playing football. When he was younger, he was actually shot in the eye, and doctors told him he would never play again. His story has obviously taken a positive turn from that point. When I talked to Dennis Erickson, the Utah running back coach, before the game, I said, you guys are so depleted. What do you do if Shine can't go? And he said, we'll probably put Jordan in there because he's the guy we're probably most confident in terms of handling the protections and all the mental aspects and the assignment work that we're going to require of him. But let's hope it doesn't get to that point. And obviously it has.
Yeah, the walk-on joined in the fall of 2015. There's Dennis. He also played at 2 different high schools, Cajon High School and then Redlands High School. And that happened to him in his junior year in high school. And Bruce so eloquently mentioned what the young man had been through. Talk about being grateful for anything that comes your way in life. This young man is.
Well, he's obviously smart, too. It's one thing that when you put the ball in his hand, what can he do? But when he doesn't have the ball, protection, that also speaks to his totalness as a player.
Might be the starting running back next week with Shine on the shelf. They'll hope to get maybe McCormick back, Moss back. Well, they got the false start issue taken care of after halftime, it would appear. They had 11 penalties at the break. 9 of them were false starts. Arizona had them dazed and confused up front with some of their stunting that Marcel Yates had prescribed. We talked about the standings, Spencer, and again, conventional wisdom, I think, coming into the season was the Pac-12 would maybe have difficulty getting a dominant team. Now, Washington is at 5, and I would suggest with the loss today of Houston, some of those top votes were going Houston's way. They weren't behind them in several polls. Washington was actually ahead. But I would suggest they might be bubblicious for number 4 this coming week after hanging 70 on Oregon tonight. As a Fox 4 voter, I know I'm going to give that a long look, and I'm guessing you will too.
Absolutely. I'll give it a long look, mainly, again, because of the quarterback play. Jake Browning is the real deal. He's got all the requisite ability to make the long throws, deep out with touch. Some of the timing elements that they use is rare, but some of that stuff looks really good.
Speaking of voting, how about your Nissan Heisman watch? What do you have for us this week?
Well, it's not fair, but a little bit of a change. I had Greg Ward up here because the University of Houston lost, and you know when you're one of those so-called fly in the ointments, you can lose the Heisman Trophy really, really quickly in that case. But if you look at Jackson, everybody's chasing him. I mean, what a banner day. McCaffrey's still in there right now because he leads the nation in total yards. So if you're going to give me grief for that, Timmy B, I say it's because nobody has more total yards than that guy right there.
I realize what time zone we're in. I think Browning with those 6 touchdown passes is going to get a lot more consideration after this week. Jordan Howard again. First down. And the clock will go tick, tick, tick.
Jordan got dinged a little bit. He's kind of limping up there.
Oh, boy. He's hobbling now.
Yep.
And that means Marcel Manalo is going to be the call. They cannot keep anyone healthy back there.
Look at the expressions on everybody's face around him. That's another running back now.
It comes in bunches. It really does.
Well,
that's a helmet to the knee there.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that tackle. Crookshank just got him with the helmet, and let's just hope it's a bruise. It's like a timeout has been taken by the Utes with 2:48 remaining. Over 900 yards now in tonight's game, total offense Arizona at 475 and Utah with 441. Marcel Manello will get the call, number 27. This is a redshirt freshman from Rio Linda, California. I got to tell you, my depth chart looked like an F paper, and that was before the game started.
He's 5'11", 220. He's pretty salty. Yeah. He's a pretty physical guy, but you're right. They're running through him left and right. Zach Moss out, Troy McCormick out, and there's Shun right there.
Shun. And Rich Rod is just like a lot of other teams is probably wishing he had an open date real soon. He's lost a ton of talent as well. Troy Williams keeps it himself and gets it down to the 20.
Well, Troy's, he's not happy, man. He's sitting there jaw-jacking with his opposition. And, at some point in time when you look up to the scoreboard and you're leading, not a lot needs to be said. You're in a great position. You've broken the schneid, gotten off the schneid, and that guy right there is happy for it.
Kyle has had a remarkable run here at Utah. Touched on it at the outset of tonight's game. Along with TCU, this team right here, more than I think any other during the old BCS era, got more out of where they were in the Mountain West Conference as they made the move into the Pac-12. This is a different program now than the one that had all that success in 2004 and then again in 2008, beat Alabama and went undefeated.
Yep.
Urban Meyer got it started, but that was at a different level of football.
Yeah.
He brought that edge. Whittingham kept that edge, but I loved your quote on it. He's very much like Urban, but with
balance.
Yeah,
that's exactly what he has. And I think tactically what he's done, he's dipped his toe down in the Texas area for some recruits. You've been mentioning throughout the show, Dennis Erickson, the influence he's had in Florida. I just think he's a hard worker. He's a grinder.
But your balance was more about the direction of the way he leads his
off
program.
The field.
Yeah, off the field.
Absolutely.
As opposed to the way you play on the field.
He's a grinder, but and Urban's on record of saying this. Urban was a big-time grinder. There was no capacity to discern how to slim down a little bit.
He's changed a little bit,
but
since he left.
He had one motor, man. And that's what drove him away from Florida.
He gives his staff 4.5 weeks off no matter what. It's a lot of hours during the season, but plenty of time off once they get into the spring. There's the remaining schedule we were talking about. That November 5th bye date, they can use it sooner rather than later. And those are 2 games on the road before they come back against number 5 Washington here at the end of the month. And this is not at all the same Utah team that came from behind and converted on 2 4th downs to beat USC. They've lost a lot of talent since a couple of weeks ago when they were able to pull that out. And Patrick caught that big-time touchdown. Remember, no Tim Patrick tonight either. Outstanding deep threat at wide receiver. Howard. Well, I tell you, this young man has answered the bell, hasn't he?
And Tellus Jones just popped him real good. He took it, stood up.
Left the game, came back in, and keeps on keeping on.
But watch Tellus Jones just tag him really quick on a nice little inside play, and Jones put that shoulder right into it. He just kept on going, got an extra 2 yak yards after that.
He has 32 yards on 5 carries as they wind the clock down. Now they can get into victory formation and at long last end this 4-game losing skid to Arizona. You win 100 games at one institution, that is a milestone. A very big milestone. And it is appreciated big time by this guy that is so tied to this state and now this institution.
Well, he's going through a tough stretch with all these injuries, but when you look at him, I don't think you'll find a better coach that does better in bowl games. 9-1, that's the highest winning percentage in the postseason of anybody coaching in the college game.
12 bowl wins since 1999, this program, and some influential victories throughout those years that have shocked the college football world. Huge home victory. Both of these coaches, though, Well, I hate to see the injury reports overnight going into tomorrow morning. Enjoyed it, though, partner.
I enjoyed it well. It's the character building of that guy right there, and Rich Rod, they'll be back.
Our final, Utah 36, Arizona 23. Hope you enjoyed our Super Saturday here on FS1. For Spencer Tillman, Bruce Feldman. Tonight's game produced by Eric Billickmeyer and directed by Doug Freeman. For all of them and our entire FS1 crew, this is Tim Brando saying our final 36-23. You've been watching the Pac-12 on FS1.